I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. I got love, peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, and pain and joy inside my DNA.
Speech. Do not underestimate the ability of the Uchiha. Inner thoughts. Is this what you meant, Hashirama? Jutsu. Fire style fireball jutsu. Actions. Inside the train heading to Tokyo. I don't like her. She could be saying all these things but have some ulterior motive, Elizabeth said while looking at Tiamat. Madara and company were currently in the last train car, with Madara sitting in the middle seat of the last row, and having Diana and Elizabeth sitting beside him. Madara was resting his cheek on his right fist and keeping his eyes closed. His patience was running thin with all the noise and nonsense that was happening around him. That is a possibility. We don't truly know of her intentions, Diana responded while also looking at Tiamat. As for the Chaos Karma Dragon, she was not occupying a seat. Instead, she was kneeling before Madara while the train was in motion. She cared very little for what the two queens were saying. She just remained silent and kept her focus on the man of her desires. I think this is the first time I've seen you two agree on something, Cleopatra stated as she was amused at seeing the antics of the two women. The two queens stopped their blabbering and took a moment to look at each other when they heard Cleopatra's words. They shifted their attention from each other to Madara, then back to each other, then gave each other a nod. Both women. It's because we don't trust her. Can't a girl get some sleep? Asuka internally questioned as all this noise was keeping her from enjoying a much-needed nap. Tiamat remained silent and continued to admire the man in front of her. She was only willing to respond when Madara was ready to speak. Until then, she just waited patiently for him. Elizabeth and Diana continued their complaining as they did not like the way Tiamat's hungry eyes was staring at Madara. Enough, Madara said with an overpowering tone. That instantly silenced the two women beside him and gained the attention of everyone that was nearby. Madara slowly opened his eyes and looked at Tiamat with an intimidating and dissecting gaze. It sent shivers down the dragon's spine and she was loving it. What do you want from me, dragon? Madara questioned. I told you, I want to be the mother of your children. But for what reason, dragon? What are your intentions? Why would you want to mother my children specifically? Madara questioned, not allowing Tiamat to finish. That's simple, because I have chosen you as my mate and someone worthy of me. Tiamat responded very plainly. Okay, now she is getting on my nerves. Who do you think you are, T? Elizabeth didn't finish her question as she stopped the moment Madara shifted his attention towards her. She could see by his eyes. His gaze said the words, shut the hell up, woman. Why me specifically? It's not as if we have known each other for quite some time, or share any kind of bond. It's a dragon's nature, Tiamat replied. Explain, Madara demanded. We as dragons can be very primal creatures, especially us female dragons. The moment we encounter someone that has overpowering strength and dominating power, we can't help but be drawn and attracted to them. It's instinct and in our nature, Tiamat replied. It's exactly for us female Draculas, Diana thought to herself after hearing Tiamat's explanation. So what now? Madara questioned. Whatever you want. Once we have chosen a mate, we are completely devoted to them. You can do whatever you want to me and have your way with my body. I surrender it to you, my chosen one. Who knew you had a way with female gender, Madara? Hagoromo said as he was enjoying seeing what was happening to the Uchiha. Madara did not respond to him. He just kept his eyes on Tiamat and could see from her body language, eye contact, and voice tone that the dragon was not lying. Devoted, huh? Madara questioned. Completely devoted, plus you are special. Who? How so? You also freed me from that demon's control. That makes my decision of you being my mate even stronger. Tell me what you want and it's yours. You have my undying loyalty. Please allow me to serve you, my chosen one. Madara just remained silent and continued to look at her. Subtle sigh. Very well then, I accept you as my follower. Tiamat's stoic face broke out a happy smile. However, two women were not particularly pleased with Madara's decision. Are you sure about this, Madara? I don't like how she is looking at you, Elizabeth stated. I must agree, my king. Please reconsider your decision, Diana suggested. Silence, you two. I don't have time for your jealous tantrums, Madara said, then stood up from his seat. Wait, where are you going? My king, our stop is not this one, Diana questioned. There is somewhere I have to go first. Asuka, you're with me. Huh? Me? Oh, okay. Can we come with? Elizabeth questioned. Do as you like, Madara said, then went to the doors of the train car. Abandoned factory. Well, this place looks charming. Elizabeth sarcastically said as they were all standing at the entrance of Madara's factory. I choose a building like this so it would not attract any attention. Also, Gremory, Citri, what are you two doing here? Madara questioned. Sona, to be honest with you, Riaz, we have nothing better to do. Akino was also with them, as she also wanted to join them. Madara focused his attention back to the factory and made his way inside it, with the rest of them following closely behind. They entered and saw various different objects and artifacts all over the factory, as well as two figures standing in front of glowing pillars. So you are back, huh? And you have guests with you this time, Indra said without even looking at Madara. Welcome back, Lord Madara. Visor greeted as she bowed before him, then continued to assist Indra with his studies. Indra, found anything interesting on your journey? Madara, a lot of things. Learn anything interesting while I was away? Indra, a lot of things. What a minute, you're the Stay Devil Visor, how is it that you are stable? Riaz questioned. That's because of Lord Madara and Indra here, Visor said with a smile as she took hold of Indra's arm. Indra, let go of me, woman, can't you see I'm busy? What's with those pillars? The energy they are emitting, it is very menacing, Sona stated. They contain the energy of that devil when she was astray. I used them to remove it from her body, Madara said. Wait, you can do that? Sona and Riaz questioned in complete shock. Yes, what of it? So what are you doing back here? Indra questioned as he now was looking at Madara, and once everyone saw Indra's face, they could see that he looked a lot like Madara. Tobai, Madara called, and the three masked figures appeared before Madara and company. So these masked men were linked to you, Sona said. Tobai, give me the Excalibur pieces, Madara demanded, and instantly they appeared in front of him. I had a feeling you had the two missing pieces, Elizabeth said with a smirk. Asuka, combine these two pieces with your incomplete Excalibur, Madara ordered. Oh, okay. Asuka quickly summoned her incomplete Excalibur and went over to the two other Excalibur pieces. Once the two pieces combined with the incomplete Excalibur, a blinding bright light spawned from the sword and it lit up the entire factory for a few good seconds before it eventually simmered down and revealed the complete Excalibur in Asuka's hands. The host of Christ's soul felt an unbelievable surge of power when in contact with the sword. Her eyes lit up and her body was completely surrounded by a golden aura. Happy? Madara questioned. Chuckle, very happy, Jesus replied as he took over Asuka's body. The complete Excalibur, it's beautiful, Elizabeth commented. Maybe for you but not for us, Riaz said as the holy energy from the blade was making the devils extremely uncomfortable and lightheaded. Eventually, everything died down and Asuka was given back control of her body once more. She looked at the holy blade in her hand and couldn't help but smirk. She could feel the blade amplifying her power, and it was addictive. Now then, on to the other reason why I am here, Tobai, I've got a mission for you, Madara said as he looked at the three masked men. And what would that be? Indra questioned as this was gaining his interest. Infiltration. I want you, Tobai, to go undercover and keep an eye on a group called the Hero Faction. Madara replied. Hero Faction? You mean Cao Cao's group? Cleopatra questioned. Yes, I met him in Kyoto. He tried to recruit me into his group. I want to see what it's all about, that's why I'm sending Tobai here, Madara said as he looked at white masked Tobai. Interesting. However, Tobai has the exact same powers as you do. They could easily link him to you, just by watching him use your jutsus, Indra stated. That is true. That's why he won't use jutsus I have used. Tobai stand, Madara ordered. White masked Tobai stood up and looked at Madara. You will use Kamui, like a Baido, however, you cannot teleport. I have already used that. What you will use is the ability to phase through objects. That's an ability I have not used. Also, you know hand sign that can be linked back to me. No fire, lightning and wood style. No Susanoo and Tsukayomi. He does need more than just Kamui and Taijutsu if he is to be a member of this hero faction, Indra said as he made his way towards Madara and Tobai. Yes, you're right about that. What about the other Kamui? The one where he can make objects disappear, Indra suggested. It's too similar to the one I used to teleport. It would be better if I use it. Chuckle, why not? He will also use the abilities of Tobirama and the fourth Hokage, Madara said. Which are? Indra questioned. Flying Raijin and that jutsu the Uzumaki brat loved, Raiskin. Now that sounds interesting, Hagoromo commented. Now go Tobai, find a way to join the hero faction, Madara ordered, and white masked Tobai just simply used Kamui to phase underground and disappear. And as for you Tobai, you will infiltrate Volley's group. You will use the 8 gates and Taijutsu, also any weapon of your choice. Now go, Madara ordered, and yellow masked Tobai disappeared in an instant. Volley's group to I suppose that would be a good thing. I don't trust that group after all, Elizabeth said. So has there been any new developments? Madara questioned as he made his way to the glowing pillars. It's as we suspected. This demonic energy is reacting to the Antichrist. It does look like the stray devils that possess this energy are drawn and attracted to that thing. Indra explained. Gremory, Citri, both of you here now, Madara commanded, and for reasons the two pure-blooded devils cannot explain, they chose not to defy him. The authority in his voice alone was enough to make them obey. The two devils eventually reached Madara and both began examining the glowing pillars. You two have the strongest demonic energy here. Do you sense anything from these pillars that we cannot? Madara questioned. Riaz and Sona kept analyzing the glowing pillars and both of them slowly began to hear voices in their head. Riaz, what the? Sona, you hear it too, don't you, Riaz? Riaz, yeah. It's like nothing I have ever experienced before. Madara, what do you two hear? Riaz, I can't really put it into words, but it feels like it's trying to seduce me. Madara, seduce. Sona, it's as if the energy is calling us, encourage and wanting us to embrace it. It's as if it's saying, come on, take this power. Have a taste. After hearing Sona's words, Madara and Indra both looked at each other and nodded their heads. Madara and Indra, it's as we suspected. Everyone, what do you two mean? Madara, I will explain now. I just want to test one more thing. Tiamat, come. Tiamat, certainly my lord. Madara, explain to me, how did you feel when you were being controlled by that demon? Tiamat, of course, slight pause, I felt powerless. It's as if my mind and body belonged to someone else. I just felt like a passenger in my own body and my mind was constantly filled with voices of evil. It was a nightmare. No matter how much I tried, I just couldn't stop the voices. Madara, my hypothesis is correct. Elizabeth, well, an explanation would be nice. Madara, how long you gonna keep us in the dark? Madara, the old Satan faction, is harnessing the energy of stray devils for their own benefit. It would seem that they are using this power as a means to not only increase the strength of demons, but also use it as a way to control other beings. Visor, you once told me that when you were a stray devil you felt as if a voice was encouraging you to embrace the nature of a true devil, am I right? Visor, yes Lord. Madara. Madara, Visor, Tiamat, Gremory and Citri, the voices that you are hearing is the will of the Antichrist. The Antichrist is like a signal, broadcasting to all those that possess this energy within them. It's what's causing these stray devils and all those who are being controlled to act the way they act. However, I have also seen that this energy is more potent than normal devil energy. It would seem that the old Satan faction is also manipulating it and using it as an enhancer for their strength. With being able to manipulate and exploit this energy to their advantage and having the Antichrist as their leader, the old Satan faction have found an interesting weapon. Sona, wait a minute. If what you are saying is true then. Madara, yes, we have seen it with Yasaka and Tiamat. The old Satan faction can use this energy to take control and manipulate anyone they want. Everyone remained silent as what Madara said truly shocked them. The old Satan faction now looked more dangerous. Madara, however, it would seem they have not completely mastered this energy. Asuka, why do you say that? Madara, if you remember the battle I had with the Nine Tails, then you will recall that I was able to cause her to shake the control of this energy and attack Tiamat. It would seem that it's still fragile. Perhaps this manipulation technique is still in its early development. If they fully master this energy, that it will prove to be a troublesome weapon in the future. Riaz, this is crazy. I need to tell Oni-sama. Madara, Tobai, get me another stray devil. We need to perform more research. And with that orange mask, Tobai used Kamui and disappeared from the factory. Deep breath. Wow. This is a lot to take in, Sona said as her mind was still processing what Madara was saying. Asuka, tell me about it. Sona, it's just incredible. Madara, what is? Sona, how you were able to piece all this together while still being busy with all the other stuff that was happening around. Just how powerful is that brain of yours? It would have taken me quite some time to figure out such a complex theory. Madara, HMPH, do not undermine the ability of the Uchiha, Citri. Sona, we need to inform the members of the Alliance about what we have discovered. Riaz, you mean Michael, Azazel and Oni-sama. Sona, yes, they need to know what is going on. Madara, then I will leave that job to you too. Riaz and Sona looked at Madara, then nodded their head at him and both created a magic circle and teleported away. And you are still here because? Madara questioned as he still saw Akino in the factory. Well, it looked like they didn't need me. And you think I do? Madara questioned with a bored look on his face. Ara, well, every man has needs, Madara-sama. Akino said, then gave Madara a seductive wink. We got another bold one, huh? Elizabeth questioned as her jealousy slowly began to surface. Ara, do I detect a little bit of jealousy, your majesty? Why, you little? While Elizabeth and Akino were busy bickering, Madara immediately sensed multiple people surround the warehouse. He quickly looked at Indra, and the ancestor of the Uchiha knew exactly what Madara was getting to. He quickly took hold of Visor and went to the demonic pillars. Once he reached them, he used Kamui to teleport Visor, himself, and the pillars to the Kamui dimension. Cleopatra's eyes widened slightly as she too was now detecting multiple beings in the vicinity. Diana was quick to follow suit as the strangers were edging closer and closer to their location. Asuka had the biggest reaction, as her eyes widened to their fullest extent as she was shocked to sense a familiar energy. Elizabeth, who in the world do you think you are? You. Slight pause. Wait a minute. Why did the atmosphere all of a sudden become tense? Madara, that's because we have company. Cleopatra, you two idiots were too busy arguing that you didn't even notice. Door blows open. Everyone shifted their attention to the now open factory entrance and saw multiple humans and demons storm the building and completely surround Madara and company. Soon after, they all heard footsteps coming from the entrance, and their eyes could now see a handsome young-looking man with spiky blonde hair and all-black outfit enter the warehouse. That energy, it's the Antichrist, Madara said as he finished off Hagoromo's sentence. Asuka's eyes did not want to believe what she was seeing. Standing at the entrance was someone she really did not want to see. She was not yet ready to confront her past. Well, hello there everyone. Hope you are all having a fucking fantastic day. Sorry I'm a bit late. I had to finish up a few things before giving you all a warm welcome back to Tokyo, Kazami said with a smirk. Asuka was shivering. That energy she was sensing from Kazami was giving her some rather painful memories. Oh baby, how are you? You have no idea how I missed you, Kazami said as he shifted his attention to Asuka. Asuka did not respond. She was still trying her best to calm her nerves and anxiety. Relax Asuka, at this current moment you have the edge over the Antichrist. You do possess the full Excalibur now. This boy is not as powerful as you, Jesus reassured. And as for you, not so much, Kazami stated, now looking at Madara. Madara, damn it, what are you doing here? Kazami, oh me. Well, I'm just here too. Madara, not you trash. Come out, I know you are hiding here. Kazami, what did you call me? Everyone was wondering what Madara was talking about, then all of a sudden saw a figure reveal herself right beside Madara. What are you doing here, Kanu? Madara questioned as the Uchiha was not pleased to see the young Kitsune. Kanu could see that Madara wasn't happy. His glare was more than adequate evidence. Because I wanted to be with you, Papa. Frustrated sigh, damn it child, this is not the time. Kanu lowered her head in shame. She could see that she has made Madara unhappy and felt really bad about it. I'm sorry Papa, I just really want to. Hey, who the hell gave you permission to ignore me? Kazami barked in anger. Madara just looked at him with an uninterested expression on his face. Those eyes ... it's those same damn eyes that looked down on me on that day, Kazami said to himself, as Madara's uninterested glare ignited a raging inferno within Kazami. Kill, who does that bastard think he is for giving me that look? Rage, I will make him pay for what he has done. Destroy, fucking bastard. Hate, I will fucking get my revenge. Kill him, destroy him, make him suffer. Kazami couldn't keep his composure and made a dash for Madara at impressive speeds. Kazami was heading towards Madara, however midway through his clenched fists that were targeted for the Uchiha were easily intercepted by Diana. Not bad, but you still have a ways to go, boy, Diana remarked with an unfazed stoic expression. Let go of me, bitch. Kazami tried using his other fist to attack Diana. However, the vampire easily caught it and gave Kazami the look, is that all you got? Kazami's rage was reaching boiling point now. He used the power of the Antichrist to coat his hands in a poisonous foam. Diana could tell that that foam was bad news and quickly released Kazami's fists. The host of the Antichrist tried to hit Diana with an uppercut. However, the vampire could easily read his moves and dodged him. She then kicked him on his right ribcage at incredible speeds that Kazami couldn't react and was sent flying, crashing into a group of his henchmen. Diana, HMPH too easy. Elizabeth, is this boy even serious? Asuka was able to calm down just a little as she could see that Diana was easily keeping Kazami in check. TCH, you will fucking pay for that, you hear me? Boys attack. Elizabeth broke out her trademark battle freak smile as she was itching for some action. Sinister chuckle, come now, don't you dare disappoint me, Elizabeth said as she began cracking her knuckles for some action. Diana and Cleopatra joined in on the action, began engaging with the enemy. Madara shifted his attention back to Kanu as he could see that this pathetic altercation was already being taken care of. Kazami saw this, and he was slowly beginning to lose it. Was he so insignificant to Madara that Kazami wasn't worth his time? The host of the Antichrist began to shake and vibrate as his hatred grew more and more. This was greatly pleasing the evil soul housed within his body. It was making it stronger. Hate, kill, destroy, rage, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Kazami was struggling to keep control. He could feel it. The Antichrist was overpowering him. Does your mother know you are here, child? Madara questioned as he was now looking at Kanu. No papa. I snuck out of the palace, Kanu said, feeling even more shame. This whole love thing is starting to get on my nerves. Madara thought to himself. Sigh, regardless, you are here, therefore you are now under my supervision. Kanu broke out a blindly bright smile after hearing Madara's words and looked at him with eyes full of happiness. Madara couldn't help but bring out a small smile because of Kanu's affection. Everyone shifted their attention to where the scream was coming from and they could all see Kazami glaring at Madara. However, his body went through quite the change. Everyone could see long black dragon wings, long predator-like nails, red eyes and black markings and symbols all over his body. His power dramatically increased, but it was still slightly inferior to Diana, Elizabeth, Tiamat and Cleopatra at full strength. However, one thing that completely caught all them off guard was Kazami's speed. He dashed straight past them and towards Madara at triple his normal speeds. Asuka began quivering again. She just couldn't move. All the painful memories of Kazami's abuse and the Antichrist's evil nature was causing her anxiety to skyrocket. She was just too scared of those two. Even though Kazami's speed was impressive, Madara could still see him. However, Kazami wasn't targeting Madara. His real target was Kanu. He slightly changed direction and moved even quicker to the young Kitsune and just tried to kill her with his nails. However, he only deeply wounded her, as Madara grabbed hold of Kanu at incredible speeds. Madara was holding onto Kanu and the Uchiha felt warm liquid in his hands. He looked down and could see his hands were covered in blood. Kanu's whole upper body had 4 large and deep cuts. Kanu began coughing out blood and grabbed hold of Madara's hand as she was fearing the worst. Kanu, Papa, cough, it hurts. It really hurts. Madara just remained silent and observed the red liquid pouring out of Kanu's torso. Kanu, Papa, I'm scared. I don't want to die. Tears fall, it hurts, Papa. Kazami just stood there and broke out a sinister laugh as he was enjoying this so much. Madara remained silent still. He just awakened the Rinnegan and summoned the King of Hell and made his way to it. The warehouse became dead silent as everyone was just watching Madara walk towards that strange thing. Kanu began coughing up more blood and tried to look at her father in the eye, but couldn't see them as his hair was covering his eyes. The King of Hell opened its mouth and was waiting for Madara to place Kanu inside of it. The atmosphere reached a bone-chilling temperature as for some reason every time Madara took a step closer to the King of Hell, the tension in the room would only just increase. Even Kazami could feel it. He was becoming nervous. Madara eventually reached the King of Hell and was slowly depositing Kanu inside its mouth. The young Kitsune was scared and tried to grab onto Madara for dear life. She didn't understand what he was doing, but to her, it felt like Madara is placing her in a coffin. But she soon stopped her resistance once she heard Madara's words. It's alright, child, your time hasn't come yet. Once Kanu heard those words, she decided to trust Madara, and the young princess was now placed in the mouth of the King of Hell, and it slowly began chowing on her body. Madara, Diana. Diana could hear the coldness in Madara's voice. It actually caused a shiver to travel down her spine. She could tell he was angry, very angry. Diana, yes, my king. Once the King of Hell is done with the child, take care of her, and as for the rest of you, move, Madara said as he began walking towards Kazami. Elizabeth, Diana, Tiamat, and Cleopatra could now finally see Madara's eyes, but it actually caused them to feel quite a bit of fear as Madara's glowing purple eyes were filled with anger and rage. The ladies all did what he said and slowly backed away from the opposition and regrouped with Asuka and Akino. Every step Madara took was causing Kazami's anxiety and fear to rise. He couldn't explain it, but for some reason he was scared. He looked down at his right hand and saw that it was shaking in fear. Damn it, da fuck is wrong with me? Why am I scared of this bastard? The King of Hell eventually stopped chewing on Kanu and spat her out, and young princess slowly began to regain her senses, and she immediately noticed that the pain she was feeling was now gone. She began touching and examining her torso and could see that she was completely healed. What the? Is this Papa's power? It's amazing, I'm completely healed, Kanu thought to herself as she was amazed at what she was seeing. Everyone else was also amazed to see Kanu's instant recovery. It's as if she wasn't injured in the first place. Diana, Kanu, are you okay, dear? Come here, let me see you. Kanu simply shifted her attention to Diana and could see the vampire was waiting for her with open arms. She quickly got up and made her way to Diana. Diana brought her close and began examining Kanu, and she could find nothing wrong. Diana, are you okay, dear? How are you feeling? Kanu, yes, I'm okay, thanks to Papa's power. Diana looked up at the King of Hell and asked herself, what kind of power is that? It looks as effective as a phoenix tear. Madara kept getting closer and closer to Kazami, and the young Yakuza was slowly starting to lose his cool. Something inside of him was screaming to attack before Madara attacks, and he decided to listen to it, deciding to dash at Madara at his full speed to cut the Uchiha's head off. However, Madara reacted quicker and grabbed hold of Kazami's neck within the blink of an eye. It greatly shocked the host of the Antichrist, as it happened so fast. Madara, you have not lived a long life, scum. Kazami looked into Madara's eyes and instantly regretted that action, as what he saw could only be described as a nightmare. Madara swung his arm back and threw Kazami across the room, causing him to crash through a wall and land on the outside streets. Kazami's henchmen tried to rush Madara, however the Uchiha just looked at them and they all instantly dropped to the ground motionless. Kazami tried to pick himself up, however Madara instantly appeared in front of him and kicked him on his abdomen, causing to crash into another building. Kazami was starting to experience some serious pain. He was pretty sure his right ribcage was cracked. He submerged from the rubble and kept his eyes on Madara. The Antichrist began working on healing the injuries Kazami sustained. However, it starts to eat away at his stamina, one of his weak points. Madara was quick to notice his panting and could see that Kazami was lacking in stamina. But regardless if he had a weakness or not, Madara continued his walk towards Kazami. TCH, damn it, look at this asshole acting all calm and shit. I will fucking break that look on your face. Kazami charged once again, and Madara was easily able to dodge him. The Uchiha grabbed hold of Kazami's left arm and instantly snapped it. Kazami screamed in pain as he was now looking at his now rendered useless arm. Once again the Antichrist began on the repairs, and it was draining the young Yakuza boss stamina. Madara, I wonder how many broken bones it will take to stop your body from repairing them. Madara summoned an arm of Susanoo and it took hold of Kazami, slowly crushing the Yakuza boss. Screams of agony and pain could be heard from outside the factory. Kazami was performing a symphony of pain as the Susanoo was tightening its grip more and more. Cracking and pops. Kazami couldn't feel his limbs. He looked at Madara and once again those cold eyes of the Uchiha was sending fear all throughout his body. He once again started wincing in pain as the Antichrist began on working on the repairs. Madara saw this and only slightly loosened the Susanoo's grip on Kazami's body, giving the blonde some breathing room. Kazami threw out the idea of trying to look composed and was breathing emphatically as if he just ran a full-on marathon. His stamina just couldn't keep up with the healing of the Antichrist and his body was at the brink of shutting down. Heavy breathing. I swear I'm gonna get my revenge for what you did to me on that day. Madara, revenge. What revenge? Kazami, wait, you don't remember me. Madara, am I supposed to remember trash like you? All I know is that you are the host of that abomination. Kazami was non-responsive. He couldn't believe this humiliation. The target of his hatred didn't even know who he was. Was Kazami as insignificant as a pebble on the street to this man? Does Madara even know the reason for why Kazami was here? Sinister laughter. You want to kill him, don't you? Come, Kazami, rage. Embrace your hatred like never before and kill him. Kazami. Kazami shattered the Susanoo's hand and bolted straight for Madara, intending to tear him apart limb from limb. Madara was slightly surprised at Kazami's speed. He was moving even faster than before, but the Uchiha could still very much see him. Chidori sharp spear. Kazami stopped dead in his tracks as he felt unbelievable pain coming from his chest. He looked down and could see a sharp glowing spear piercing his chest. He followed the spear's trail to see where did it come from and saw it was originating from Madara's hand. He began coughing up some blood and looked at Madara's face, and once again, he saw it. Those eyes, those damn eyes. I fucking hate those eyes that look at me like I'm just an insect. Those fucking damn eyes. Kazami tried to move but felt his body being pulled from behind. What the? How the fuck? Relax, boy. I believe that's enough fun for one day. Raizum said as was standing next to Kazami but used his magic to restrain his movements. Kazami, TCH, let go of me. I'm not done with this scumbag. Raizum, sigh. Why do the youth never listen to those who are wiser than them? Kazami, arg, let go of me. Raizum, I need to kill that bastard. Raizum, I'm gonna say this one more time. Calm down. Kazami, I said la. Raizum, you don't stand a chance, fool. If this dragged on any longer you would have been killed. Can't you see that he was going easy on you? Accept it, you are just weaker than him. Those harsh yet honest words hit Kazami with the impact of a bus. He stopped his resistance to fully digest what Raizum told him. While I do suppose elder brother was encouraging you to keep going, I cannot fully put the blame on you, Raizum said to himself as he observed Kazami. Cough cough, I apologize for my protege's sudden actions. I was hoping that we would meet on much more peaceful conditions. But you know children, they tend to act on their own. I'm sure you have experienced this yourself, Madara Uchiha, Raizum said with a smirk. Madara just kept his stoic expression and was analyzing this newcomer. He deactivated the Chidori sharp spear. He is not an ordinary one, is he? Hagoromo questioned. No, he's without a doubt the most powerful demon we have seen, Madara replied. Oh, I finally get to see those infamous eyes of yours in the flesh. You know Off-Eyes is obsessed with you and your potential. And to be honest, I can see why. A human with this much power, it would get anyone's attention. So don't be surprised that I'm about to offer a deal to you, Madara Uchiha. Madara, what deal is this? Raizum, join us. Madara, I refuse. Raizum, chuckle, well, that was expected, but hey, can't blame me for trying. But for you to give me an instant reply without even hearing the benefits of joining me is quite harsh, wouldn't you say? Madara, benefits, scoffs as if there are benefits in joining the old Satan faction. I'm sure you were gonna use the demonic energy of yours to try and take control of me. Raizum, chuckle, I like you. You already know what faction I'm affiliated with, but I suppose that is easy to figure out for the likes of you. However, I am impressed that you are the first person to figure out what we are doing with the stray devil's energy, but I suppose someone was gonna find out eventually. However, I do have one thing to say. Madara, which is, Raizum, best you watch your back. When Off-Eyes has her eyes on someone, there is nothing that can stop her from getting that person, and if her recent behavior is any indication, it looks like she is getting more desperate to fulfill her goal. Well, until next time, Madara Uchiha. Oh yeah, before I leave, watch out for the Black Mamba. It's Off-Eyes' most powerful snake. Madara narrowed his eyes as something about this man was not sitting right with him. Madara, why tell me all this? What do you possibly gain for sharing this information? Raizum, think of it as favor, nothing more, nothing less. A favor, huh? Is he against Off-Eyes? Madara asked himself. Raizum, well, until we meet again, Madara Uchiha. Raizum created a magic circle and used it to teleport himself and Kazami away. Asuka, come here, Madara demanded in a very stern tone. The Excalibur wielder flinched when she heard Madara's tone, however she was able to muster up some courage and slowly made her way to Madara. She was eventually standing in front of him and didn't dare look him in the eyes. She just kept her head down and her body was fidgeting from being under Madara's gaze. Raise your head, girl, Madara ordered in a cold tone, and this caused Asuka to flinch once more. Do I need to repeat myself? Toriyama. Asuka bit her bottom lip to experience some pain. She needed something to help her get a grip on herself. Once she was able to overcome her anxiety, she reluctantly raised her head, and unfortunately for her, she made eye contact with Madara. His onyx black eyes were like literal daggers piercing the very essence of her being. Oh, how she regretted looking into Madara's eyes. Madara, what was that? Asuka, no response. Madara, Asuka, do not make me repeat myself, girl. Asuka, Madara, are you gonna act like timid 4-year-old every time you encounter the Antichrist? You keep acting like this and you gonna get yourself killed or consumed. You acting like a brat, Asuka. Asuka once again dropped her head in shame. She had no way of replying to Madara. She was beyond embarrassed. After all, what was those 6 months for? She knew that it wasn't yet to be a deathmatch between her and Kazami, but after all that training and for her to do nothing but cower in fear brought a whole new level of shame upon her. My king, perhaps you are being a little too harsh on young Asuka, Diana interjected as she and everyone else made their way to Madara. Madara, then tell me something, Diana. If she ends up dead, what are you gonna say then? Diana did not respond. Asuka's actions did suggest that she could end up dead or taken by the Antichrist. Madara, Asuka, what are you so afraid of? Asuka, I'm afraid that the Antichrist will consume me once again. Tears start falling. I don't want that and for it to be Kazami it's just a lot of painful memories. It's too much. I don't think I can do this, Madara-sama. More tears start falling. I'm not strong enough. Madara, that's pathetic. Asuka, that kind of mentality is an insult. Have you no faith in your abilities? Are you just gonna roll over and die like a dog? Asuka, huh? Asuka looked up at Madara with wide open and shocked eyes. Madara, have you no faith in the people around you? Have you no faith in Hyodu, Asia, Rainier, Calawarner, Midult, and Diana? Did they not push you and encourage you in the last 6 months to be stronger? Does Asia not look up to you as an elder sister and Hyodu as a rival and as someone to push him? What were those 6 months for? to show this weakness. It disgusts me. Have you no faith in your partner, huh? Have you no faith in Christ? For Asuka, everything just stopped. It was as if she was in a white void with just her and Madara. Everything else around her was irrelevant at this moment. All she cared about was listening to what Madara was saying. Madara, what is this all for then, Asuka? The power you have inherited, the strength you have cultivated, the bonds you have created. Are you gonna allow that abomination to take it from you? Are you gonna be like that girl you were 7 months ago and just be a victim? Are you gonna let all this be for nothing? Asuka just couldn't blink and couldn't stop listening. Madara's words were stirring up a fire within the girl. Her soul was being set ablaze. Madara, if this is who you are and what you accept, then get out of my sight. I don't need such weakness near me. Everything went quiet. All everyone could hear was the wind blowing around them. Asuka stood there motionless. Her head was down and tears just continued to fall from her face. Madara took one more look at her before turning around and walking away. Everyone else felt sorry for Asuka and believed that Madara was going a bit too far with the host of Christ's soul. Madara, the rest of you coming, or do you also wish to stay behind? They all took one more look at Asuka, then slowly walked away from her to go and catch up with the Uchiha. Asuka, wait. Everyone shifted their attention to a still crying Asuka. They could all see she was shaking and her hands were balled up into a fist. Madara looked at her with his trademark bored stoic look as he was wondering what she wanted. To everyone's surprise, Asuka dashed as fast as she could towards Madara, and when she reached the Uchiha, she opened her body up to give him the clingiest hug she has ever given. Asuka released the floodgates. She clung onto Madara's shirt for dear life and buried her face in his chest. What is it with these girls and their constant weeping? I thought Asia was the only one, but now we have another. Madara thought to himself. Wait for it, Hagoromo said. Wait for what? Thank you, Madara-sama. Madara looked at Asuka with a raised eyebrow, wondering what she was getting to. You just had to go and tell me that, chuckle. I'm sorry, but you're not going to get rid of me that easily. Especially not after hearing that. You're stuck with me, Madara-sama. Asuka said, giving Madara the brightest smile he has ever received from her. Madara, you got my shirt wet. Asuka just chuckled once more and continued to smile at him. Eep, he is definitely the man I should follow and listen to, Asuka said to herself. As she kept looking at his face, she just couldn't stop herself from smiling. I'm glad that you two were able to make up, but what's next, huh? Elizabeth questioned. Madara, if they were able to find this warehouse, then I'm sure they know of Hyaru's house. I suppose it is time I started using it. Asuka, using what, Madara-sama? Madara, my territory I won from that devil long ago. We will need a new base of operations, seeing that Tokyo is no longer suitable. Diana, ah yes, I always wanted you to see it, my king. What will you two do? Madara questioned as he looked at Elizabeth and Cleopatra. Elizabeth, I'm coming with yo. Cleopatra, oh no you don't. Did you forget that you're a queen? You have responsibilities you need to take care of. Oh come on, don't be like that, Cleo. Oh no, you need to take care of your responsibilities. You had your fun, now it's time to go back. We will all see you on another day. Bye everyone. Cleopatra said as she grabbed hold of Elizabeth and teleported away. Tiamat, so how exactly are we gonna get to your territory, my lord? Madara, Diana. Diana, right. The vampire created a giant magic circle and teleported all of them to the underworld. Madara's underworld territory. Madara, this will do. Asuka, whistles. Kanu, it's huge. Tiamat, impressive. Diana, I know, right. What Madara and his group found themselves in was not just a territory, it was like a small country, with land stretching as far as the eye can see, and to top it off they were standing before an enormous castle. Madara and company were immediately greeted by a large group of vampires that were ones maintaining Madara's territory. Vampires, welcome back Lady Diana, and a warm welcome to you Lord Madara. We have been eagerly awaiting your arrival. I'm assuming they're the ones that were maintaining my territory. Madara questioned. Diana, but of course my king. Asuka, let's go see the inside. Inside Madara's castle, what Madara and his group entered was nothing short of brilliant. From the floor to the ceiling, it was a castle fit for a god, filled with the most luxurious furniture and artifacts. Asuka, oh I definitely like this. Now if you guys can excuse me, I'm going room hunting. And with that Asuka left them to go and explore the rest of the castle. Diana also excused herself as there was something she wanted to discuss as well as catch up with her fellow vampires. Kanu, hey, Papa, could you please train me so I can be as strong as you? Madara looked at her, then thought about it for a minute. Then shortly after an idea entered his mind. Very well then, there is something I want to try. And as for you, what are you going to do? Madara questioned as he shifted his attention to Tiamat. I will follow you, my lord. Open field nearby Madara's castle. Madara, Kanu, I want you to channel your chakra so that it surrounds your entire body. Kanu just nodded her head and tried what Madara said, but was only able to create an aura around her body. She has a long way to go before she can master that form, Madara said to himself as he was accessing Kanu's chakra level. What are you trying to accomplish, Madara? Hagoromo questioned. Since she is a nine-tailed fox, I want to see if she can access that chakra form that Uzumaki brat was using during the war. Hagoromo, this should be interesting. Madara, Kanu, come here, I wish to test something. Kanu gladly made her way to Madara and stood before him. Madara placed his hand on top of her head and was preparing to pour his chakra into her body. Madara, Kanu, listen to me very carefully. I'm going to pour my chakra into your body. What I want you to do is try to channel as much of it around your body from head to toe, you understand me? Kanu, yes papa. Madara began pouring an obscene amount of chakra into Kanu's body, and the young kitsune was shocked at what she was feeling. Her entire body felt like it was boosted to a level that was close to her mother. Madara, focus Kanu, immediately start channeling the chakra, otherwise your body will be overwhelmed. Your chakra network is still too weak to keep this amount of chakra stored in your body. You need to immediately start using it. Kanu, yes papa. Kanu immediately began distributing Madara's chakra all over her body, and she felt her body start to heat up. Madara, keep going child, you're nearly there. Kanu's body was beginning to produce steam the more she kept distributing Madara's chakra. She could feel it. She just needed a little bit more. It felt like she was trying to light up a matchstick but was just missing enough intensity to fully light it up. Kanu, I need more. Madara, very well then. Madara increased the output of chakra he was giving Kanu and the surface around them began shaking. Kanu's body began to light up and soon enough she entered the Nine Tails chakra mode. Madara removed his hand and began analyzing the sight in front of him. And as for Kanu, she felt amazing. The best she has ever felt. The young princess felt like all things that were limiting her before were now child's play. Madara, it's weaker. Hagoromo, much weaker. But hey, what were we expecting? Naruto spent a long time mastering that form and Kanu has only entered it for the first time, and it looks like she has only entered the first stage. Madara, what do you mean the first stage? Hagoromo, Naruto had two stages of his chakra mode, KCM1 and KCM2, at the beginning. Naruto could only access KCM1 because he didn't have Kuruma's full cooperation. Only once he gained a partnership with Kuruma was he able to gain KCM2, which was what you fought against. So little Kanu here is only in KCM1 and even hers is weaker than Naruto's KCM1. Madara, I see, she has a long way to go, but even for her to be able to access, it shows she has potential. Hagoromo, that is true, she does show good chakra control. It just looks like she needs to build her chakra reserves. It would be illogical for her to constantly need an external source of chakra in order to enter the form. Kanu just couldn't help but admire her glowing body, but more importantly the power. Her senses increased tenfold. She was able to detect things far better than she ever has, and strangely enough she felt light on her feet like her weight has been cut in half. Madara, Kanu, come at me the best you can. Let's see what you can do in that form. Kanu, right papa. Madara backed away from her to create some space and indicated to Kanu to come at him. The young kitsune blitzed her way to Madara and tried to kick Madara in the face. The Uchiha easily blocked her strike but did take notice of the increase in speed and flexibility. Kanu looked like nothing of her former self. Amazing. I never knew I could move this fast and this freely. I'm already enjoying papa's training, Kanu said to herself. She backed away, then decided to blitz around her father in order to try and confuse him. However, even though Kanu was running circles around Madara, the Uchiha could still very much see her. She tried to sneak attack him from behind. However, the Uchiha blocked that attack as well. He grabbed her fist and threw her to the side. Is that all you got, Kanu? Madara questioned with a bored look. Kanu couldn't help but be fired up. She was even more determined to land a hit on Madara. She extended her arms to the side and spawning from her hands was bright yellow flames. Those flames look similar to the ones her mother used. I suppose it's a trait of being a nine-tailed fox, Madara thought to himself as he was examining Kanu closely. Kanu launched balls of fire at Madara, and as usual, the Uchiha dodged her attacks. However, Kanu used those as a diversion to blitz Madara. The Uchiha couldn't help but be amused at this. However, it was still the same. Madara could still see her no matter how fast she was moving. Kanu tried going for another kick and Madara easily caught her leg before it came into contact with his face. Kanu smiled at this. Is this what she wanted to happen? Madara was quick to take notice of her sudden facial expression. The fireballs that Madara dodged were still airborne. However, they broke apart into smaller bullet-sized fireballs and changed their course of direction, with them heading to Madara at even greater speeds than before. Madara was becoming more amused at Kanu's antics. However, the Uchiha decided the best counter to this was to use wood style to create a wall around him to protect him from the incoming projectiles. That little moment in Madara's break of concentration was what Kanu was aiming for, with Madara's attention now on the projectiles. This was the perfect moment to strike for her, as Madara spawned wooden pillars to surround him and Kanu. The young kitsune spawned the strongest fireballs she could create, and with her being literally inches next to Madara, she was full of confidence that she was finally gonna be able to get a hit on Madara. Kanu, I got you now, Papa. Madara couldn't help but smirk at her remark. He had to admit that Kanu was at least being creative. He could very much see that there was potential in the child. Kanu noticed Madara's smirk and was wondering what did he find so amusing. After all, there was no way that he could get out of an attack this close range. She launched the fireballs, however for Madara everything was moving slowly, at speeds that Kanu couldn't comprehend. Madara released his grip on Kanu and blitzed his way out of there, leaving Kanu to launch her fireballs at the wooden wall in front of her. Kanu was shocked. She couldn't understand how Madara was just that quick. She landed gracefully and just watched the wooden wall in front of her burn to a crisp. Madara, impressive. Kanu, however, it is not good enough. Kanu turned around and saw Madara just casually standing there with his arms folded as if nothing ever happened. Kanu clenched her fists in frustration and once again tried to blitz Madara. However, midway through her dash her chakra mode wore off, and she went back to her original form. Hagoromo, looks like time is up. Madara, looks like it is. Kanu stumbled and rolled uncontrollably on the floor as she was not expecting to lose her chakra form at this moment. She eventually stopped rolling and Madara made his way to her to discuss a few things. Kanu could tell that Madara was making his way to her, and she was too frustrated and embarrassed to look him in the eye, so she just kept her head down, wanting this moment to just be over. Madara, raise your head, child. Kanu's frustration was clear to see. She had her fists clenched and still kept her head down. She was just so annoyed that she couldn't get even one hit on Madara while being powered up. What did this say of her abilities in her base form? Madara, are you going to keep wallowing in the dirt like an insect? Or are you gonna raise your head, child? Kanu reluctantly picked herself up but kept her head to the side as she still didn't have the courage to look Madara in the eye. Madara, oh I see, the scenery is more interesting than me, huh? Kanu immediately gave Madara her full attention. She didn't want it to seem like Madara wasn't important. Kanu, no of course not, Papa, it's just. Slight pause. I couldn't even get one hit, and that was me powered up. What does that say about me in my normal state? I'm so weak. Madara, then become stronger, child. You get nowhere by indulging in self-pity. Such things don't serve us. Kanu was taken aback by Madara's words. Her mother would always tell her that she is doing a good job, and although she did appreciate her mother's words, Kanu always felt that they were not what she needed to hear. It's not only her mother, all the servants would always applaud her, even though she knew she could do much better. Now with Madara telling her these words, it was like a breath of fresh air. Madara, you said that you are my daughter, right? Yes, Papa, Kanu replied with a quick but stern response. Madara, I will not have a child that indulges in despair due to her being weak. You don't like things as they are, then change them. Make the decision that you are going to become stronger and don't look back. Kanu, Papa. What is it? Madara questioned. I want you to teach me everything you possibly can so I can be as strong as you. Kanu responded with an unwavering fire in her eyes. Madara, everything I can possibly teach you, huh? Everything? Kanu sharply responded with even more determination. Hagoromo, you got a lively one, don't you? Madara, I see. However, the first thing is that you need to build up is your chakra reserves. You do remember the amount of chakra your body was using when in that form, right? Madara was right. Kanu did remember that the amount of chakra she was using to maintain her Nine Tails chakra form was more than triple the amount she has normally. Kanu, yes. Madara, I will teach you other techniques and abilities you can use. However, your ultimate goal is to master that form. And from what I have seen, you have a long way to go. Kanu, I'm ready, Papa. Madara, very well then, I want to teach you something. Kanu, pay close attention to my hands. Madara performed a cluster of hand signs, however he did slow down the speed in which he was doing them in order for Kanu to see the hand signs. Soon after performing them, another Madara appeared beside him and Kanu was amazed at what she was seeing. This is called a shadow clone. It will help you improve the speed of your progress and training, and if you can create more of them, it will just increase the speed of your progress even further. Your first lesson is to create as many clones as you can, child. Kanu, right Papa. Kanu slowly began trying to mimic the hand signs Madara demonstrated and was constantly messing them up, but still kept on trying. Madara decided to shift his attention from Kanu to Tiamat as there was some question he wished to ask her. "Walk with me, Tiamat," Madara requested, then began his stroll. "Certainly, my lord," Tiamat responded, then quickly caught up to him. "Madara, you said that you were dragon, right?" Tiamat, "Yes." "Madara, what can you tell me about Bahamut, Off-Eyes, and Great Red?" Tiamat froze for a minute as she wasn't expecting Madara to mention the names of the most feared and respected dragons in existence. Madara noticed her body language, how she tensed up by the mention of those names. He kept his calm demeanor and continued on his walk. "Something the matter?" Madara questioned as he could still tell that Tiamat was not moving. Tiamat snapped out of it and made her way to Madara's side. "Tiamat, why would you mention the big three, my lord? What on earth would you want with them?" Madara, "One of them has their eyes on me." Tiamat, "Who? It can't possibly be Bahamut. He has been sealed for years." Madara, "Off-Eyes." Tiamat was both relieved but also fearful when hearing that name. She is relieved that is the weakest one out of the three, but was fearful because it was still Off-Eyes, the infinite dragon god, that wanted Madara. Tiamat, "Run." "What was that?" Madara questioned. "For your own safety, my lord, please run." Tiamat begged as the thought of Off-Eyes hunting down Madara was seriously scaring her. "And why would I do that?" Madara questioned. Tiamat, "Because she will take you whether you like it or not if you fight her." Madara stopped walking and looked at Tiamat dead in the eye. "Running away or losing will never be an option for me. I don't care how terrified you all are of Off-Eyes. To me she is just another obstacle that is in my way." Tiamat, "But my lord, you don't understand Off-Eyes. Do not waste my time, Tiamat. I have heard that speech before. I will show you all what the Uchiha is truly capable of, and that is power that can shift the entire world. All of you fear these beings, however you fail to realize that you all have not seen me at my full power." Madara interjected as he didn't give Tiamat the chance to finish her sentence. Tiamat could very much see it for herself. The man in front of her was not bluffing. She could see that his eyes held unseen power that was ready and waiting to be displayed to the world. Tiamat blushed a bit as she only now took notice of how close Madara's face was to hers. "Right, forgive me, my lord," Tiamat said as she shifted her head to the side in order to get her composure once more. Madara, "Then fulfill my request, Tiamat. Tell me what you know of those three." Clears throat, "Right. Bahamut, Great Red, and Off-Eyes are known as the big three to us dragons, just like how humans have their gods. We have those three to look up to. So you are saying they are your gods?" Madara questioned as he continued his stroll. Tiamat, "In a way, yes, they are like our guardians, beings that exist to give the dragon kind a reputation. You see, most of us dragons wouldn't be able to take on the gods of the supernatural world. Some of us have our limits. But with those three on our side, they are making sure to let the supernatural world know we dragons can be devastating. No god apart from God of the Bible would dare take on Bahamut, Off-Eyes, or Great Red." Madara, continue. Tiamat, "Those three have somewhat of a difficult relationship. If you could, my lord, think of them as siblings in a powerful family. Bahamut is like the oldest and most gifted sibling, the special one. He is the most powerful dragon to exist. Many of us believe that he was here since the universe began. He was a leader for us dragons, an example for all our kind to follow. Mention his name to any god out there, and they will all tell you they would lose if they had to fight Bahamut." Madara, "Carry on." Tiamat, "Great Red is the second in line, the middle child, still very much gifted and powerful, but was always weaker than Bahamut. Every time they did battle, it was truly a sight to behold. However, no matter how many times and no matter how hard he tried, Great Red would always lose to Bahamut. The Black Dragon was always an obstacle Great Red couldn't beat. They clashed over and Bahamut would always remain on top. This irritated Great Red. They became rivals and would always engage in intense battles. Now as time passed, the world has changed. Both Trihexa and Bahamut are sealed. Lucifer and God had died and Jesus' soul was in a human host. Great Red rise to the top by default, with no one being a match for him. He grew bored and decided to reside in the dimensional gap as he saw there was nothing better to do, and that is where the problem lies. Madara, "You mean for Off-Eyes, right?" Tiamat, "Quite right, my lord. Off-Eyes is like the last born, the baby of the family. She is not as strong as Great Red and is certainly not as strong as Bahamut, but is still feared by the gods of the supernatural world. Off-Eyes doesn't really care for much. She doesn't desire power, glory, or worldly possessions. She doesn't even care that she is the weakest of the three. All she ever cared about from the moment she was born was her home, The dimensional gap. Bahamut and Great Red could rampage as much as they wanted. It wasn't enough for Off-Eyes to care. She had her home and that is all that matters to her, until Great Red came in and took it from her. Madara, so it's true then, as powerful as she is, she cannot fight Great Red on her own. Tiamat, yes, throughout the years, Off-Eyes has been carefully selecting powerful individuals or individuals that have caught her eye, in order to use their power as well as her own to rid the dimensional gap of Great Red. Some join her cause out of their own free will, while others following her goal because they were beaten into submission. Either way, Off-Eyes gets exactly what she wants in the end. Madara, and what of the Black Mamba then? Once again Tiamat froze at Madara mentioning those words. Madara noticed this time that Tiamat was more fearful than the first time she froze in shock. This time it was just full of anxiety and panic. Are you gonna keep acting like this every time we have a conversation? Madara questioned with a bored look. That snake is deaf. Tiamat responded, however she wasn't looking at Madara. She was looking at the ground with eyes devoid of life. Madara narrowed his eyes at her response. He could see by her body language that this is an extremely serious matter. That's a snake. Even Medusa would be afraid of Tiamat as she kept looking at the ground. Medusa? Madara questioned in confusion. Tiamat snapped out of it and shifted her attention to Madara once again. Tiamat, forgive me, my lord, don't worry about Medusa, she is no one. But why would you mention Off-Eyes' most powerful snake? Madara, I was told to be cautious of it. Tiamat, oh no, that's bad, that's very bad. My lord, if you are the target of Off-Eyes' most powerful snake, then you are in some serious danger. Off-Eyes doesn't just take out that snake for anyone. Madara, explain. Tiamat, the Black Mamba is Off-Eyes' trump card, her ultimate snake, both in the non-supernatural world and supernatural world. The Black Mamba is the most deadly snake. They are a manifestation of Off-Eyes' power. Think of them as her children. I heard she makes those under her consumed snakes to give them a snake mark. Madara said. Yes, the mark of the infinite dragon. However, there is two ways she does it. One way is, as you mentioned, is consuming her black snakes. However, there is another way. She can physically touch her victim and give them the snake mark. The advantage for her is that this way the snake mark is stronger and the victim's bond to her is near unbreakable. However, the disadvantage is that it consumes a lot more of her power than her traditional way, and her and the victim need to be in constant contact. They are not allowed to separate once until the process is complete. If what you telling me is true, then Off-Eyes wants to have the strongest bond with you possible. She must see that it would be impossible to remain in constant contact with someone as powerful as you. Therefore she is putting all her cards on her snake, the Black Mamba, to do the job. Rumor has it that the Black Mamba is half her power. Tiamat explained. I see. So she is gambling everything on her trump card to have me chuckle. If I was a weakling I would be honored. All I just see in her is a weak pest. Madara stated, then continued his walk. Tiamat's eyes widened in shock. This man, this human, just referred to Off-Eyes as a weak pest. My lord, how can you refer to Off-Eyes as a weak pest? She is number 2 in the top 10 strongest beings in the supernatural. Then tell me something, Tiamat. If she is so powerful, why does she need to enslave other beings in order to take care of her problem? She is using others to take care of her dirty work. It's pathetic. Tell me, dragon, did I ever once force you or enslave you to join my cause? Madara questioned. Tiamat paused for the 3rd time to really think about what Madara said. It's true, Madara never once forced her to his side, and by observing how his followers treat and act around him, she could tell they were all with him by choice, not obligation. Any one of you can leave, if that is what you desire. It's still not going to stop me from pursuing and achieving my goal. As for Off-Eyes, she is no better than the demons and how they enslaved you with the stray devil's energy. You all fear a being that cannot do anything on her own. I have even heard that in her own organization, the Kalos Brigade are planning to overthrow her as their leader. What do you call that? It's as I said, Off-Eyes is a weak pest that is in my way. Great Red and Bahamut seem like more interesting entities. Madara said. Tiamat was speechless. Here right now, a human was disrespecting a being even the gods fear. She just couldn't understand how Madara could be so calm about Off-Eyes hunting her down. Just hearing his words, being in his presence, was now sending chills down her spine. She could see it for herself now. Madara Uchiha is truly fearless and she absolutely loves it. He is making me excited. I can feel it. My dragon instincts are rising. I won't be able to control myself soon. Tiamat thought to herself as she was looking at Madara. Heavy breathing. My lord. If you don't mind. Could me and you. Madara, step aside, Tiamat. Tiamat was slightly confused at what Madara meant until she saw it. Block. Madara blocked a kick from Kanu. Within an instant he was surrounded by 10 other Kanus and they were all itching to have a fight with their father. HMPH, I see you have mastered the Shadow Clone Jutsu, Kanu, Madara said while taking a moment to look at all the Kanus around him. All Kanus yeep, and now we are going to take you down. Chuckle, is that right? Don't get too cocky now, child. You still have a long way to go. Once again at speeds Kanu couldn't comprehend. Madara blitzed all her clones and threw the original Kanu to the ground. Oh, come. You are cheating, Papa. You couldn't just let me get one hit. Kanu said in frustration. Child, do you know who I am? I will not going easy on anyone that is a follower of mine, especially a child claiming the position of my daughter. Now get up and go get yourself cleaned. You have been playing in the dirt for quite some time. Heavy sigh. Fine, I will go take a bath, Papa. Tiamat was a little disappointed that her chance was ruined by Kanu, but she was now able to keep her dragon instincts in check. Hey, Madara-sama, you have a visitor. Madara, Tiamat, and Kanu all shifted their attention and they could all see Asuka at the door with a familiar-looking face. Michael, what is the leader of the angels doing here? Madara questioned as he, Tiamat, and Kanu made their way to Asuka and Michael. Michael, a good to see my friend would have been nice, Madara, and I can see you have new members to your group. Princess Kanu and the Chaos Karma Dragon. Tiamat, nice to see again, ladies. Tiamat, it's good to see you again, Michael. Kanu, it's been quite some time, Lord Michael. Madara, how did you find me? This is the last place I would expect to meet an angel. Oh no, that's simple, we just tracked Asuka's whereabouts. She has Lord Jesus' soul, so it's quite easy to find her. My assumption is that I find her, then I will find you. Michael stated with a smile. Asuka spat out the drink that was in her mouth in shock as she didn't expect Michael to use her as a means of finding Madara. Wait, so you are telling me you can find me no matter where I am? Because of Jesus' soul. Michael, gentle laughter. Yes, dear Asuka. You better not come when I'm getting dressed or in the shower. Asuka threatened as she found it extremely uncomfortable that her privacy is not completely safe. Michael, nervous laughter noted. Madara, so then back on topic, why are you here, Michael? Michael, I would rather speak about this inside, in a place that's more comfortable. Very well then, and also, what are you wearing, girl? Madara questioned as he was looking at Asuka's attire. Asuka was dressed in a punk mental onesie that flaming skulls splashed all over it. What? I'm at home, aren't I? I might as well be comfortable. Asuka responded. Home ... I haven't had a home for a long time. Ever since Mom and Dad died. Actually, as I think about, I haven't been this happy and at peace in a long time. I almost forgot how good it felt to have a home and family. This is a nice feeling. Asuka thought to herself. Unfortunately for Asuka, she was so invested in her mind that only now she realized that she was left all by herself outside. Asuka, hey, you guys didn't have to leave me. The Grand Lounge. Madara and company were all seated in a beautiful and lavish lounge with the finest sofa in the underworld. Some of the vampires moving around the house were giving Michael an icy attitude due to their history with the angels. So what business do you have here, Michael? Diana questioned while pouring Madara some whiskey. Michael, right, I am gonna be brief. Madara, you have received quite a big invitation. What invitation? Madara questioned as he took the glass of whiskey from Diana. Michael, to the Olympics. The room fell silent after Michael uttered those words. Even some of the vampires present didn't really understand what Michael meant by that. Asuka, wait, isn't the Olympics where athletes compete with one another for medals? And isn't it like 2 years away still? Michael clears throat. My apologies. I should have been more clear. You're not invited to just any Olympics. You are invited to the Olympics, the one hosted by the Greek gods. It would seem Zeus and the others want to meet you, Madara. Madara, is that right? So the gods now want an audience with me. Michael, quite right. As you may or may not know, it is Zeus's responsibility to keep the Titans in check. It's the promise he made to the other mythologies in the supernatural world. Now the fact that a Titan was able to slip by him and get into enemy hands is an extremely served situation. Zeus would be under some extreme pressure by the other mythologies if you didn't step in and kill the Titan before it was able to cause massive destruction. Madara, so he and the other gods want to meet the human that dealt with Titan, huh? Michael, you took the words right out of my mouth. If it wasn't for you, Zeus would have been experiencing hell right now, especially from the likes of Amaterasu, Shiva, and Odin, so I suppose you can think of this invitation as a way of him showing his gratitude. Madara, where is it? Michael, Olympus, and you will be the VIP of the day, well, you and whoever you choose to travel with to Greece. That depends on whether or not I wish to attend their event, Madara said as he rested his cheek on his fist. Michael, that's not all, Madara. Madara raised his eyebrow at what Michael said. Is that so? Then what else is there? Michael, you have also been invited to a wedding. Once again the room fell silent. Everyone just stood still and observed Michael as he was some sort of alien. A wedding? Madara questioned, being even more confused than before. Michael, yeep. However, this is not exclusively for you. Madara, what do you mean? Michael, this is a wedding between Zeus's son Hercules and the queen of the Amazon warriors, a beautiful woman named Zafia. This wedding is a means for Zeus to get on everyone's good books once again. He wishes to invite not only you but many others to this celebration, in order to smooth out any tension. Madara just took a sip of his whiskey as this still didn't interest him. Madara, is this supposed to interest me? Michael, a wedding? Of all things, you are wasting my time, Angel. Michael, chuckle, I knew you would say that. I know these kinds of events would not interest you. However, remember when I said, you are not the only one invited to the wedding. Madara was about to take another sip of his drink but stopped mid-action as he was finally realizing what Michael was getting to. Ah, I see you have caught on, Madara. That's right, Zeus did not only invite you, but he also invited as many gods from other mythologies that are willing to come, and of course you know what that means. Michael said, I will be able to meet all the other gods and beings of the supernatural world. I will be able to assess who is strong and who is weak, who can be an ally and who is a potential enemy, Madara said as he shifted his attention from his drink to Michael. Diana, this could mean that you can finally meet Amaterasu, my king, provided that she attends the wedding. Michael, oh no, she will be there. This is also an opportunity for the gods of the supernatural world to converse with one another. Think of it as somewhat of a get-together. The goddess of the sun and universe would look rather foolish for not attending. We as the leaders of the supernatural world have responsibilities. Events like this are such that we cannot just ignore them. I see that many of the supernatural leaders gathered in one place is quite tempting. Very well then, I shall attend these Olympics and the wedding, Madara said, then took another drink of his whiskey. Asuka, I have never really attended a wedding before. I don't even have a dress that would be good enough to wear for such an event. Chuckle, you need not worry, child. We of heaven would be more than happy to provide you with all the items you need. We are in alliance with you after all. Michael said, a wedding and the Olympics, this is so exciting. A buzzing Kanu stated, Madara, you will not be attending. Kanu quickly turned her attention to her father and was really upset to hear those words coming from him. Kanu, but why Papa? Madara just took another drink of his whiskey and looked at Kanu. Madara, because someone that is here won't allow you to. Kanu, and who would that be, Papa? You. Madara, be patient, you will find out in 5.4.3.2.1. KONOU. The young kitsune froze because she more than anyone knew who that voice belongs to. Madara and company heard a group of individuals march through the front door of the estate. They were making their way to the Grand Lounge. I see you all have found your way to my territory, Madara said as he didn't even bother to look at those who were entering. He was really enjoying his glass of whiskey. Yasaka, you are in so much trouble, Kanu. Rainier, in all my life, I never thought that I would have the luxury of living in something so huge. Like what the fuck? This ain't just territory, master, it's a fucking country. Asuka, I know, right? Oh yeah, by the way, I've already gone room hunting and the room with the view is mine. Middled, now how the hell is that fair? We didn't have a chance to choose or even battle it out for rooms. Calawarner, would you three calm down? By the size of this place, I'm sure there is more than enough rooms to go around. Diana, oh definitely, there are more than 30 rooms to go around. Rainier, good lord. Yasaka, not to be disrespectful everyone, I do not want to ruin the atmosphere, however, I need a minute, so please be quiet and bear with me. KONOU. How could you just run off like that? Kanu just stood there silent. She kept her head down. That's the only thing she knew to do in a situation like this. She had no other way to respond to her furious mother. Everyone else just remained silent, all looking at one another with well this is awkward eyes. None dared interfere with what was going on. Yasaka, well, what do you have to say for yourself, Kanu? Kanu still remained silent. Madara was getting rather tired of this situation. After all, his glass of whiskey would only entertain him for so long. He took the last drink, then handed the empty glass to Diana. What is this, Kanu? Answer her, child. This is not what I taught you. To show such weakness is pathetic. What did I tell you about weakness? Madara questioned as he rested his cheek on his fist and observed Kanu. That it doesn't serve us, Papa. Kanu replied in a lowered tone. Madara, then answer your mother, child. Look your mother in the eyes and own your actions. Kanu took a deep breath after hearing Madara's words. She did exactly as he suggested and looked at her mother in the eyes. I ran off because I wanted to be with Papa. Don't be mistaken, Mama. It's not that I love him more than you. It's just that this is the first time I have a pop. I just really wanted to spend time with him. Forgive me, Mama. I couldn't wait. I will accept any punishment you give me, Kanu said with a determined look. Yasaka just paused for a minute. She couldn't believe that this was her baby girl. Kanu was actually owning up to her actions. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. Yasaka, who are you and what have you done with my daughter? Everyone raised their eyebrow at Yasaka's question. They were all wondering what she was getting to. Kanu, what do you mean, Mama? I'm your daughter. Yasaka, not possible. The Kanu I know would never own up to an action like this. Usually when she causes trouble, she oftentimes tries to dodge it. Kanu couldn't help but smile at her mother's remark. It would seem that the young kitsune is changing. Kanu, giggle, you can thank Papa for that. It's his influence and teaching that is changing me. Just like the one of weakness, he is teaching me to get rid of it. Yasaka just shifted her attention from Kanu to Madara and just looked at him in shock. Is it really that surprising, Yasaka? The child came to me seeking strength, and that's what I'm giving her, Madara said as he took the refill of whiskey from Diana. Kanu ... She is actually maturing. And it's thanks to the influence of Madara. Perhaps her leaving Kyoto was a blessing in disguise, Yasaka thought to herself. Yasaka, exhausted sigh. I was worried sick. Kanu, I thought something horrible happened to you. Please don't ever scare me like that. Kanu went up to her mother and embraced her in a warm hug. Kanu, I'm sorry, Mama. Next time I will be sure to let you know where I am going. The rest of the group found the scene rather touching and heartwarming to say the least. Issei, Asia, are you crying? How can you not? It's always nice to see those who love each other embrace each other, Asia said as she wiped a tear in her eye. Kanu, oh yeah, Papa, why don't you try and show Mama that form you were teaching me earlier? Yasaka once again shifted her attention from her daughter to the father of her child. What form? Madara paused for a moment and thought about it. Actually, that's a brilliant suggestion, Kanu. With the level of her power, she should be able to access it, Madara said, then stood up and made his way to Yasaka. Yasaka, what are you two talking about? Madara, step aside, Kanu. Kanu did exactly as her father requested and gave him and her mother some space. Madara placed his hand on top of Yasaka's head and looked her right in the eye. Everyone apart from Tiamat and Kanu were wondering, what on earth was Madara planning to do to Yasaka? Yasaka, dear, as much as I am enjoying you touching me ... but what exactly are you planning on doing with me? Madara, listen to me very carefully, Yasaka. I want you to take all your chakra and start distributing it around your body immediately. I for one will pour my chakra in your body as well. Think of me as a jump start. From what I have observed with Kanu, you will need a boost if you are entering it for the first time. Yasaka, okay, but what form exactly? What are you? Mama, just trust Papa. Do exactly as he says. You will not regret it, Kanu said as she didn't give her mother a chance to finish speaking. Yasaka just nodded at what Kanu said. She could see from her daughter's eyes that this was something she trusts Madara. She began controlling her breathing and soon enough began distributing all her chakra to every corner of her body. Madara began pouring his chakra as well, and to Yasaka's surprise, it blended extremely well with her own. Soon enough her body began producing steam and the room began to vibrate. Yasaka, what is this? Why does it feel like there is a power deep inside of me that has been laying dormant? Madara, you feel, don't you? Yasaka, yes. More, dear, just give me a bit more. I can almost reach it. Madara fulfilled her request and increased the output of chakra he was giving Yasaka, and the leader of the Yokai felt as if her entire body was on fire. But it wasn't a painful sensation, rather it felt extremely pleasurable. Yasaka's body began to lighten up and it was glowing far brighter than Kanu's before. Her body became so bright that it was blinding some of the others present. Madara, come now, Nine Tails, unleash your power, show me what you got. Yasaka let out an intense scream and soon enough she was in the Nine Tails chakra mode. The brightness died down and what everyone saw was nothing short of breathtaking. Yasaka, she looked like a goddess. Her glowing body made it look like she was a being created from heaven. Kanu couldn't hide her excitement and her admiration. Her mother looked as graceful and as elegant as any divine being in the supernatural world. Kanu, beautiful. Hagoromo, interesting. Yasaka's case is quite interesting. Madara, I suppose so, Sage. She is much more powerful, stronger than Uzumaki before he got your powers. Hagoromo, indeed, she is stronger than KCM2 Naruto before I gave him 6 paths. But mind you, that was Naruto with half the 9 tails, so a complete 9 tails KCM2 Naruto would be stronger. but still, her power is quite immense. Madara, I'm sure she can become even stronger. However, at this level already, she is possibly the strongest person in this room after me. Asaka couldn't describe what she was feeling. She felt power she never thought would be possible for her. She could feel and sense things on a level of a god. She took a moment to observe her hand and was amazed at it. She looked at the rest of herself and was blown away by her appearance. Madara, well done, you have entered Nine Tails chakra mode, Asaka. Asaka just looked at him with an inquisitive look. Asaka, how could you possibly know of such power, when we of the Yokai and Kitsune had no knowledge of such? Madara turned his back, went back to his sit and once again began indulging himself in his drink. I know of a lot things, Asaka, more than you will ever know. I could sense there was untapped potential within you and Kanu, and I simply gave you two a helping hand in bringing it out, Madara said while calmly looking at Asaka. Asaka, dear, do you understand what this discovery means for the Yokai? Madara, enlighten me. Asaka, with power like this, the Yokai faction can be an extremely powerful force in the supernatural world. Opposition will now think twice if they ever want to attack Kyoto. I can feel it. I am near the level of the gods of the supernatural world. Chuckle Amaterasu might even have trouble fighting me with this form. Do you understand what you have just done? You have awakened a power in me that can almost rival the most powerful goddesses in existence. I'm sure I can even rival Athena or Freya. Is that right? You do understand what you are saying, Asaka? Those are some bold words, claiming that you stand a chance in a fight with the greatest of the Greek goddesses or Odin's ex-wife. Everyone turned their attention to where the voice coming from and they saw two familiar faces. Asaka, Surzech, Azazel, you two have no idea what I'm feeling right now, if I am not even to them. Then I can be sure that I am quite close to them. As for Amaterasu, she is still out of my league. However, I would give her some serious problems at the level I am at now. Listen, you know I love you all and I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say this, but apart from Madara here, I can take on any one of you here and win every time. Diana and Tiamat's body tensed up when she said that. To them it was looking like Asaka was looking for a challenge. Tiamat, how sure can you be? Diana, we can put what you are saying to the test. Enough. She is right. Any of you fight her and she will defeat you. Some of you she will beat you comfortably. By accessing her power, if Asaka was to go all out, she could have beaten that weakened titan I faced and she could do it single-handedly. Madara said. Kanu, hear that, mama? You can beat a titan. I am ever so grateful, dear. You have no idea what this means to me, Asaka said as she looked at Madara with love in her eyes. Rainier, chuckle Yeep, that's kinda what happens when you stick around Master. Some way, somehow, you just become stronger. Calawarner, amen to that. Issei, oh definitely. Kanu, Asia, without a doubt. Middlet, pretty much guaranteed. Diana, it would be a wonder if one didn't get stronger. Asuka, there can be no other way. Asaka just paused and saw all the smiles on Madara's followers and couldn't help but join in. Asaka, chuckle, I can see that. Thank you, Madara. All I need to do now is get my body to adjust to this power. I do feel that it can be quite taxing on the body as well as my chakra. Tiamat, enjoy your lead for now. However, we too will also train and become stronger with the help of Lord Madara, and we will surpass you, Asaka. Diana, oh yes, you can count on that. Issei, definitely. Asuka, for sure. Rainier, don't be slacking now, we coming. Calawarner, best you watch your back. Middlet, as if we are stopping now. Asia, we won't stop. Kanu went up to her mother and took hold of her left hand and looked at her in the eye. Kanu, I will make sure to go even further than you have, mama. Asaka just looked all around and couldn't help but love the atmosphere. She smiled at all their words and nodded to every single one of them. Michael, perhaps we can learn something from Madara if we pay attention. After all, our enemies are not resting, neither should we. Surzech, you right about that. I saw it when Riaz returned. She has grown more powerful from your training camp, Madara. Azazel, what do you say, Madara? Willing to teach us as well? Everyone shifted their attention to our whiskey-drinking protagonist, all awaiting an answer from him. Madara put down his glass and calmly looked at all of them. Madara, if all of you become stronger, it brings me closer to my goal. It would be beneficial. However, for now, let us focus on this invitation of the Olympics and wedding. Speech, do not underestimate the ability of the Uchiha. Inner thoughts, is this what you meant, Hashirama? Jutsu, fire style fireball jutsu. Actions, in the name of all that is good and mighty Calawarner, you better give me back that fucking dress. Otherwise I swear, Master and Issei combined won't even be able to save you from me. A raging Rainier stated to her best friend. Asuka, do these two ever get along with each other? Issei, sigh, they have their moments. Short pause. Sometimes. Middled, only these two would start a world war over a fucking dress. Rainier, Calawarner, Issei, Asuka and Middled were all currently in the castle fitting room as they were getting their own tailored outfit for the wedding. However, it wasn't going so smoothly for two certain fallen angels. Calawarner, mocking laughter as if, this dress looks so much better on me than it does on you, Rainier. Rainier, deranged chuckle, oh, you better take that back, otherwise you are going to be 6 feet under in the next 5 seconds. Calawarner, bring it. Both fallen angels' auras were filling the room and it was causing some of the vampires and angels that were present to become slightly nervous. Asuka could see that this might end up badly. She shifted her attention from the two raging angels to Issei. Asuka, shouldn't you do something about this? Issei, oh hell no, I ain't getting involved with these two. Rainier was quick to remember that her and Calawarner were not the only ones present in the room. She quickly shifted her attention to Issei, and a devilish smile appeared on her face. Issei saw this and immediately tensed up. He really didn't like the look on Rainier's face. Issei, oh no, God help me please. Rainier made her way to Issei and began caressing her lover's face as well as giving him the puppy dog eyes. Rainier, baby, be honest now, you know that you want to see me in that dress because of course I look much better in it than some girl that is hogging it. Calawarner was beginning to feel some unspeakable fury at Rainier's actions. Calawarner, of all the dirty tactics you could have used, you just had to go ahead and use Issei. Rainier, do you hear something, baby? It sounds like a fly buzzing for attention. Asuka, shit is about to get real. Calawarner copied Rainier's actions and she also made her way to Issei. However, she took it a step further and decided to sit on Issei's lap and expose her cleavage to the Red Dragon Emperor. Calawarner, don't listen to her, darling. Rainier has always been jealous of me. I'm sure it's because I am better than her in everything. Rainier, jealous of you. Calawarner, you heard me. Rainier, okay, that's it. Everyone please prepare a tombstone for this bitch and make sure it's an ugly one. Calawarner, like I said, bring it. The two Fallens once again engaged in an intense stare down with their auras going through the roof. They both released their 10 fallen angels' wings, getting ready to rip each other up. Middled, okay, shit is definitely about to get real. Rainier, bitch. Calawarner, cunt. Issei, enough. You two are giving me a migraine. Rainier and Calawarner were stunned by Issei's sudden outburst. They couldn't help but stop their bickering to give Issei their attention. Issei, who had the dress first? Calawarner, Rainier did, but then Rainier gets the dress, end of discussion. Issei said in an authoritative tone. Calawarner, but darling. Issei looked at Calawarner with irritated eyes as he was having none of this. End of discussion. Issei said once more, making sure his aura also filled the room. Both Rainier and Calawarner couldn't help but be turned on by Issei's dominance. They had no other option but to obey. Calawarner, sigh, fine, take the stupid dress, I will just ask Lord Michael's angels to make me an even better dress. Rainier hesitated for a moment. She began thinking about it, and gods help her, she didn't want Calawarner to have a better dress than hers. Rainier, it's fine, you keep it, I will just get a better dress. Asuka, oh no, here we go again. Calawarner's previous annoyance was beginning to creep back as once again Rainier was starting to get on her nerves. Calawarner, no, I insist, you take the dress. Rainier, nah, I'm good. Besides, I'm sure your man-like hands have probably ruined the material. Calawarner, okay, that's it, take the dress, bitch. Rainier, nope, I'm not about to wear something ruined by your touch. Issei, face palm, God help us all, not again. Once again the room was filled with the two Fallen's aura, and this time, it looked like Issei wasn't going to stop them from killing each other. Yawn, what's all the noise about? A barely awake Kanu entered the room, wondering what was all the shouting about. Rainier, you see what you just did? You woke up little Kanu here. Calawarner, me. It was you with your big ass mouth. Asuka, morning Kanu, come sit on big sister's lap. Kanu, while rubbing her right eye, just did as Asuka suggested and made her way to her lap. Middled, big sister. Of course, just look at her, she is so cute, how could you not want to be her big sister? Asuka questioned as she was rubbing her cheek against Kanu's. Kanu, yawn, has anyone seen Papa and Mama? Issei, now that you mention it, where is the rest of the group? Vampires Lord Madara and the rest of the group went to the training grounds not far from the castle to have a bit of sparring. Our characters froze when they heard what the vampires just said. They all looked at them as if something was wrong. Vampires, something the matter. Issei, da fuck you mean is something the matter? Of course it is. Asuka, we are missing out on a chance to see an amazing training session. Kanu, let's move now. And with that the group immediately left the room and rushed to the training grounds to see a once-in-a-lifetime training session. Training grounds near the castle. Madara was standing in the middle of an open field with his eyes closed and his arms folded, as he was embracing the calm before the storm. Heavy panting. Did we miss anything? Asuka questioned as she and the others reached some grandstands of the training ground and found Asia healing the 3 faction leaders. Painful chuckle. Well, you missed the first fight between us and Madara, Surzech said as he was still recovering from the intense sparring with Madara. Asia was doing her best to heal the 3 faction leaders. This was also a form of training for her as well. The more injured she heals, the greater her healing becomes, as well as the stronger and more durable her body gets. Issei, man, I wish could have seen that. Wincing. Don't worry, child. I'm sure the next upcoming fight will be worth it, Michael said as he was trying to get himself in a comfortable position to witness the next spar. Rainier, who's fighting master, groaning. It's Madara versus Yasaka, Tiamat and Diana, Azazel said as he too was placing himself in a position to watch the fight. Calawarner, 3-on-1, man, we gotta see this. Kanu, shhhhhhh ... It's starting. Madara remained dead still, preparing himself for another round of fighting. The 3 ladies now made their appearance, and they surrounded Madara in a triangle formation. Madara slowly opened his eyes and took a moment to look at all the 3 ladies. Tiamat began to release her aura, getting ready to go all out against Madara. Diana awakened her Sharingan and took her fight stance as she knows she is going to have to push herself to the limit. Yasaka released a shock wave of power. Her body emitted a bright light and she entered Nine Tails chakra mode. She has been itching to use her newfound power, and what better way to test them than to use them on the person who gave it to her. Diana, Tiamat and Yasaka, the Nine Tails is the ace in this team. With her newfound power, she is going to be the most dangerous one here. I'm sure the other 2 will back her up. Let's see what these 3 got. Madara thought to himself as he witnessed the ladies power up. Literally the moment after Madara blinked, a fist appeared in front of his face and he knew exactly who that fist belonged to. Madara blocked the fist before it came into contact with his face and awakened the Sharingan. Madara, impressive speed. Yasaka, I see your new form is serving you well. Middle, whoa, did any of y'all see that? Calawarner, I think we all just saw that. Issei, Yasaka just moved sniper bullet quick. Kanu, mama is so cool. Yasaka just smirked at Madara. She knew as well as anyone that getting a hit on Madara that easily is just downright impossible. Diana appeared behind Madara, planning to cause a devastating sneak attack. Wood-style, wooden dragon jutsu. Just as fast as Diana appeared behind Madara, a wooden dragon sprouted from the ground beneath the vampire and wrapped itself around her. Diana, TCH, damn it, I should have known. Madara decided to tighten his grip on Yasaka's fist and he pulled her closer towards him. Yasaka didn't expect this, and by the way Madara pulled her, she was thinking Madara was going in for a very aggressive kiss. The leader of the Yaokai just closed her eyes ready to have some lip action, but unfortunately for her, that was not what Madara had planned. Within a split second of closing her eyes, Yasaka experienced extreme pain in her stomach. Reason being is that Madara need her with extreme force. Yasaka's eyes widened in pain, however Madara was not done there. He used his free hand to punch Yasaka on the cheek, which sent the Yaokai leader flying. Just as Yasaka was no longer in the immediate vicinity, a large light blue flame came rushing towards Madara and the Uchiha just used Kamui to teleport out of there. Diana saw now that the flames were now heading in her direction. She quickly powered up and broke free of the wooden dragon's hold. She quickly summoned large bat wings and flew out of there before she got burned. Madara reappeared and just looked at all of them with a bored look on his face. Is that all you 3 got? Just as Madara asked that question, Diana appeared in front of him and began launching fists and kicks at the Uchiha. Due to both of them having the Sharingan, what the spectators were witnessing was not just ordinary hand-to-hand combat. It looked like 2 divine beings that have complete mastery over their body engaging in a dance of fighting. Madara was impressed at how Diana was keeping up with him. The power of the Sharingan was greatly assisting her. Diana herself couldn't help but smile. She was proud of the fact that she can perform at this level against her beloved. She was growing more grateful of the power Sharingan in Madara. Although Diana was putting up a good fight, everyone could see that she was at the disadvantage. She was mostly on the defense in this battle of fists and kicks. Madara knew one undeniable fact of the Sharingan. Even though it can help you predict your opponent's attacks, it meant very little if your body is not fast enough to keep up with the Sharingan's predictions. The Uchiha just had to keep increasing the speed of his punches and kicks, and this was causing Diana to struggle quite a bit, as although she could predict Madara's moves, her body was not fast enough to react to them. The vampire began to take some hits, and each hit carried a lot of power with them. This pain was starting to eat at her stamina and endurance, which was causing her to become more sloppy. Middle, oh, this is starting to look ugly. Diana is struggling big time. The others couldn't help but agree. Diana was starting to take some serious hits, even though she is a devoted follower of the Uchiha. Madara made sure not to hold back on his vampire. Madara was looking to give Diana a serve uppercut. However, before his fist could connect with her jaw, Tiamat appeared and stopped Madara's fist. Diana took those moments to back away from Madara in order to catch her breath. Madara, so you next the one to dance with me, huh? Very well then. Chidori stream. Madara surrounded his body in deadly current of lightning. However, Tiamat was quick to respond and surrounded her body in melting hot light blue fire, which was doing quite well to keep Madara's lightning at bay. Interesting. Tiamat has her own version of this technique. I wonder if there is a way to improve the intensity of her flames. Madara thought to himself. Madara increased the voltage of his lightning and Tiamat followed suit, increasing the heat of her flame. The Uchiha and the dragon were locked in an intense stare down with neither one taking a moment to blink. Tiamat raised her other hand and conjured up a ball of fire. The intensity of the fire was on lethal levels because she knew that she couldn't hold back on Madara. Even though this was just a training session, to her it was a serious training session. Diana dropped to one knee as she was doing her best to catch her breath. She clenched her fist in frustration and punched the soil. She had a lot of improving to do. She raised her head and just watched Madara and Tiamat stare each other down. Rainier, who you think is going to make the first move? Warner, probably Tiamat. She can't afford to give Lord Madara an advantage. Asuka, true. Tiamat was about to launch the fireball, however she felt something grip both of her ankles. She quickly looked down to see that they were roots. Madara just gave her a devilish smile and within seconds, large branches sprouted beneath Tiamat. They took hold of her legs and launched her to the sky. Tiamat was surprised because she thought the flames that was surrounding her body would incinerate the branches, however that was not the case. They were only mildly being burnt. Tiamat, how is this possible? My fire should be destroying these branches. What kind of wood is this? Madara used his fingers to motion his creation and the branches just flung Tiamat to the ground with unbelievable force, causing the Chaos Karma Dragon to create a small crater. Azazel, painful chuckle that's got to hurt. Michael, wincing Madara certainly doesn't go easy. Surzech, groaning I don't think he understands the meaning of the word. Madara, boring. Once all three women heard that from Madara, a fire was ignited inside of them. They all got up and made a sonic boom dash to Madara. The Uchiha saw this and simply smiled. He raised his hands forward and activated the Rinnegan. Just as the three ladies were centimeters away from Madara, the Uchiha launched his counter-attack. All Might push. Yasaka, Diana and Tiamat were all hit with an invisible force and all three beauties were sent flying. Kanu couldn't help but watch Madara and have wow written all over her face. Kanu, I forgot how amazing Papa is. I am really beginning to understand why I wasn't able to get at least one hit on him yesterday. Issei, chuckle welcome to the club Kanu. Kanu just looked at the rest of them with an inquisitive look. Kanu, wait you guys as well. Asuka, it's the story of our lives. Rainier, the day we get a hit on Master, I believe it will actually rain cats and dogs. Warner, it's kinda impossible, but that's not why we train with him. Kanu, what do you mean? Middle, we don't train so we can get a hit on Big Brother and brag about it. We train so that we can get our ass kicked and become stronger. All of us were weak before we met him. Issei, but then Sensei comes into your life, and just by following him, you become stronger both physically and mentally. Rainier, yeep, before him we only just had 2 fallen angel wings, but since we have been with him, me and Warner have gained 10 fallen angel wings and middle tier has 8. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even think it was possible for me to get even 4 wings. To get 10 is just amazing. Warner, and I'm sure we can become even stronger. We can probably become the new icons and leaders of the fallen angels. Asuka, you see little Kanu, even though it will be a dream come true to get a hit on Madara-sama, that's not why we train. The training is not for him, it's for us. We train against him to become stronger and improve who we are. We all know we are going to lose against him, however if we can keep up with him just a bit longer than we did the last time we trained against him, then we know we have improved. Issei, so don't feel too bad that you couldn't get a hit on Sensei. The man is just in the league of his own. Kanu just looked at their faces and couldn't help but admire the smiles they all had. They were right, just by with Madara for a day. Kanu was able to access a new form and master a technique where she can clone herself. She failed to realize that within 24 hours she has become stronger than she was before. Kanu, giggle I guess you guys are right. Screams. The spectators shifted their attention to the battle and noticed that the 3 ladies were all releasing an ear-piercing war cry. Diana, Tiamat and Yasaka were tired of being played with and decided that it was time to get serious. They gathered up all their power to go all out against Madara. Yasaka's body was glowing brighter than before and her clothing began to get markings and symbols of the Yaokai and Nine Tails. Diana's hair began to change color, going from its usual sliver look to charcoal black, and her as well gaining bat symbols all over clothing. As for Tiamat, hair nails grew sharper and hair changed as well, going from its normal state to now taking the appearance of intense light blue fire, as well as hair eyes glowing a bright blue. Rainier, is Tiamat's hair on fire? Calawarner, no you idiot, Tiamat's hair is fire. All ladies looked at Madara with sole intention of taking him down, although they cared extremely deeply for the man. Right now they really wanted to inflict some pain on him. Madara just burst into his trademark laugh. He could see that the three ladies were ready to go all out. Madara, sinister laughter come. The ladies didn't need a second invite. Yasaka was the first to reach him and tried to hit the Uchiha with a devastating punch. Madara dodged her and simply kicked Yasaka at her ribcage. Diana was next in line. However, Madara quickly awakened the ribcage of the Susanoo and used one of its hands to slap Diana away. Madara didn't have time to collect his thoughts as Tiamat began launching a barrage of fire attacks. Madara focused his attention on the incoming projectiles and performed a cluster of hand signs. Fire style, majestic destroyer flame. All Tiamat saw was an enormous wave of fire heading her way. It completely swallowed her barrage of fireballs as if they were just mere food. She took a deep breath and released her own wave of fire from her mouth, and it collided with Madara's fire. Asuka, talk about turning up the heat. I can feel the intensity of their flames from here. Middle, it's fucking beautiful. Just look at their flames when they combine. They are creating an array of color. Middle's words held truth when Madara's flames came into contact with Tiamat's flames. They created a new type of flame almost as deadly as the Sharingan's Amaterasu. Yasaka reappeared, however was immediately hit by an invisible force. Issei da fuck. Did Yasaka just get beat up by the air? Asuka, looks like it. Madara-sama is too preoccupied with Tiamat. I'm sure it's an ability of his. Rainier, I'm sure it is. At this point we really shouldn't be surprised with what Master can do. But I will say this, my god, is that fucking cheating. Yasaka picked herself up, but was completely bewildered at what just happened. She was sure that Madara was too busy with Tiamat and didn't have time to launch a counter-attack at her. What just happened to me? Yasaka asked herself. Diana appeared right next to Yasaka in order to regroup with her. Damn it, it's Limbo. Yasaka just looked at Diana with a confused look. It's what? Diana, Limbo. It's one of Madara's abilities. He used it on me the first time we fought. It's an invisible clone of his that exists in another dimension. Yasaka's eyes just widened in shock at what Diana just told her. Wait, he can do that? You have got to be joking. Diana, chuckle, you know when it comes to him, anything is possible. Yasaka, so how do we defeat it? Diana, I don't think we can. It's kinda that thing of if we want it gone, we have to take down the original. You know, take down the source of its power. Yasaka, exhausted sigh. Madara. Diana, yeep, and you know taking him down is kind of impossible. Yasaka began picking the depths of her brain in order to figure out a solution to their problem. But she soon realized, because of her Nine Tails chakra mode, that her senses have increased tenfold. Therefore an idea emerged from her thinking. Yasaka, wait, I got an idea, chuckle, and it could be an interesting idea. Diana, I'm listening. Yasaka, we combine. Diana just paused for a minute as she thought she was hearing things. I'm sorry, I thought I just heard you say combine, so tell me what this idea of yours is. Diana said as she shifted her attention once again to Madara and Tiamat. Yasaka, chuckle, that's exactly what I said, we combine. Diana just looked at Yasaka like she was an alien as she was not getting what the leader of the Yaokai was getting to. Diana, exactly what do you mean, Yasaka? Yasaka, at first I was thinking of me just focusing all my power on my senses, and I'm sure even though I can't pinpoint where Madara's clone is when it's standing still, if it's moving, I could at least detect it, so when it moves I could direct you to where it is. However, I thought of an even better idea. We as the Yaokai have an ability of merging with others temporarily, combining our powers with theirs. Think about your Sharingan, body and power enhanced with my KCM and sensory ability. Forget the Limbo clone, we could even be a problem for Madara. Diana thought about it and the Queen of the Vampires couldn't lie. The idea appealed to her very much. Let's do it, Diana said, giving Yasaka an excited smile. Yasaka just smiled and placed her hand on Diana's shoulder. Madara and Tiamat were still locked in their war of flames. However, Madara decided to turn up the heat, and his flames were starting to push back Tiamat's fire. The dragon was losing ground and knew that she needed to put her all in this fight in order to stand a chance. Tiamat's eyes began to glow extremely bright. They looked like small, intense blue-colored stars. The dragon searched deep within herself and found there was a new level of heat deep within her. Tiamat, Kao's Inferno. Once Tiamat uttered those words, her and Madara were now locked inside a dome of scorching blue flames. Azazel, looks like we got another one, who is pushing her limits. Cerzech, I've never seen Tiamat try this hard before. She must really want to give Madara her all. Michael, it's always something special to see an ally improve themselves. Madara, impressive. No Uchiha apart from those that possess Amaterasu could create flames more intense than these ones. Tiamat is skilled in the art of fire. The doom of fire, they were both locked and began to start shrinking. Tiamat could sense that she couldn't keep using this new level of fire forever, so her plan was to shrink the doom so that her flames would completely engulf and consume Madara. Chuckle, so Tiamat intends to finish me with this dome of fire. HMPH, she shows great potential, and is a useful follower. Pity that what she has is not enough. Amaterasu. And within seconds of saying those infamous words, Tiamat's dome of fire aggressively faded away, and all that was surrounding her and Madara was a circle of black flames. Azazel. Sigh, he always has something up his sleeve, doesn't he? Michael, I'm sure those are even flames Amaterasu and Hades would be jealous of. Cerzech, it's a good thing we are not his enemy. Tiamat saw her dome be completely devoured by Madara's black flames, and this greatly dropped her hopes of winning this battle. Her willpower was non-existent at this point. Madara could see that Tiamat had completely given up. At this point she was just holding on and delaying the inevitable. The Uchiha decided that it was time to end this battle of fire. He increased the intensity of his flames once more and they completely pushed back and engulfed a dejected Tiamat. Issei, ouch, looks like someone else is going to need your healing, Asia. Asia, I hope her burns are not too bad. Cerzech, no they won't be. The rest of the group shifted their attention to Cerzech as they were wondering how he knew that. Rainier, how can you be so sure? Calawarner, yes, she was completely consumed by Lord Madara's flame. It looked like she might even sustain 3rd degree or even 4th degree burns. Michael, you are all forgetting one simple fact. Midalt, witches. Azazel, she is a dragon, an entity of the flame. Losing in a battle of fire is not as bad as you think it is for a dragon. Sure, her honor and pride is completely destroyed because she lost to a human in the game of fire, but in terms of physical damage, her body will only have a few small burns, plus her body will automatically start repairing itself and she will be as good as new. Asuka, well, that's a relief. The flames that were burning Tiamat's body completely subsided and she was found on the ground battered and burned. I lost in my own game. I knew my chosen one was strong, but to beat me in my own game, I wonder if he really is completely human, or part god or part dragon. And those flames, those black flames, I have never seen anything like them before. He must teach me how to create fire of that degree, Tiamat thought to herself while laying on the ground and allowing her body to heal itself. Impressive, Tiamat. I know of no one except for one in my clan that could create flames more intense than yours, Madara said as he was now standing next to a defeated Tiamat. Tiamat raised her body so that she would be able to look at Madara better. Tiamat, what were those flames? I have never seen anything like them. Madara just extended his arm and opened up his hands. Tiamat looked at his opened hand and within seconds it spawned the flames that destroyed hers. These are flames of the Uchiha, the eternal black flames of the Amaterasu. Flames so hot, they are known to devour other flames. This is my ultimate fire, flames that are as hot as the sun, Madara stated while showing Tiamat Amaterasu. Tiamat was in awe of what she was seeing, but more than anything she was absolutely amazed that a human could have fire that could burn as hot as the sun. Tiamat, wait, you said they are called the Amaterasu, the same name as the Shinto goddess of the sun, the deity known to have the strongest fire in all of the supernatural world. Now you see part of the reason why I want to meet her. I desire to see which fire is stronger, mine or hers, Madara said as he now deactivated Amaterasu. Tiamat, incredible. Our dear Madara, don't tell me you forgot about us. Madara and everyone else shifted their attention to where the voice originated from and what they saw shocked to no end. Madara, Huo, what is this? What Madara and company was seeing was something they have never seen before. They were all looking at Diana. However, she looked drastically different. Her clothes completely changed with her now wearing a glowing coat that had symbols of the Yokai, Nine Tails and Vampire Bats. This was accompanied with matching pants and glowing shoes. Her hair also changed with it being blonde but it had black streaks throughout it. Issei, is that Asuka, Diana? Rainier, what the fuck is going on? Midalt, I don't remember her being blonde. Calawarner, since when does she have Yasaka's power? Kanu, she doesn't. Everyone shifted their attention to Kanu as they were wondering how she knew this. Midalt, what do you mean Kanu? Kanu, Mama used an ancient technique of the Yokai. Very few have mastery over it. and it's extremely rare. Basically, the technique allows a yokai who has mastery over it to combine their being with whoever they wish, granting them unbelievable power, strength, and ability. Think of it as Mama fusing with Diana temporarily. Azazel, amazing. I never knew Yasaka or even the yokai had such an ability. Kanu, that's because Mama is the only one I know of who can do it. It is extremely rare and unbelievably difficult to master. We as yokai are known as spiritual beings, and as you know, spirits have the ability to enter someone's body and possess it. However, instead of Mama taking over Diana's body and consciousness, what she is doing is combing hers with Diana's. Azazel, I think I'm understanding this technique a bit more. I see that it would be difficult to try fit two brains in one body. Kanu, that's right, it would be much easier to just possess their body, which is what majority of yokai do. However, it will never match up to the potential and possibility of fusion. If Mama just took over Diana's body, she would only have Diana's power, and her power would be locked, but with fusion both of their power can be used in one body. Issei, that's fucking cool. Surzech, imagine that. The possibilities of that technique would produce unbelievable results. Asuka, someone get the popcorn, this is going to be one hell of a fight. Rainier, what would we even call her? Calawarner, not sure, probably something like Diasaka or Yana. Midult, god those names are horrible. Of all the things I have seen in this world, this ranks as one of the interesting ones, Madara thought to himself while observing the sight in front of him. Hagoromo, how it's a fusion, who would have thought that this would be a possibility in this world, and their power, it's something else. Madara, indeed, looks like I'm going to need to put in a little bit more effort now. Diasaka began stretching her neck and muscles as she was preparing to go all out against Madara. The Uchiha just observed her, doing what he can to scale her power, however at speeds that could rival or even beat the gods. Diasaka appeared in front of Madara, preparing to give him a skull-crushing punch. Everything went slow motion for Madara. Diasaka's punch was moving too quickly for him to even attempt to block or dodge it. He was not expecting this kind of speed from his opponent. Therefore, he had to rely on one of his old classic abilities. Just as quickly as Diasaka appeared in front of Madara, the Uchiha summoned the ribcage of the Susanoo in order to protect him. Diasaka's punch made contact with Madara's protection. However, the force of the punch sent Madara flying, causing him to crash into one of the buildings nearby. Michael, that's speed. Azazel, it's actually god level. Asuka, there is no ways ... did she actually? Issei, no, she hit the Susanoo, so technically Sensei still hasn't been touched. Not bad. I could really get used to this kind of power, Diasaka said to herself with her combined voice of Yasaka and Diana. Menacing laughter. Diasaka shifted her attention to the laughter as she was wondering what was so funny. Madara emerged from the rubble with the right ribcage of the Susanoo completely shattered and destroyed. Now this sinister laughter, this has interested me, Madara said as he deactivated the ribcage and examined the rubble around him. Diasaka, I expected as much from you. I would be disappointed if the man I admired and adored most would be taken out from easy attack like that. HMPH, I suppose I should put in a little more effort. Let's see how well you two dance as one. Madara closed his eyes and began controlling his breathing, and soon enough Diasaka could see some strange markings appear on his face. After a few moments had passed, Diasaka's eyes began to widen in shock as the Yasaka side of her could sense the absolute monstrous amount of natural energy Madara's body was gathering, and it was like nothing she has ever seen. Kanu was another one to lose her composure at the sight of Madara. Her eyes were as wide as dinner plates. That's Papa in Sage mode. How can he gather such pure natural energy so effortlessly? I don't know that Mama and Diana can win against him, even though they are combined. Issei, yes. Clears throat. Do I mean oh no? Really? Why do you say that, Kanu? Kanu, he is a perfect sage. If he was to power me up with the amount of natural energy he is using, I would be more than 20 times stronger at the lowest. And that's without KCM included. Now imagine just how much strength Papa is adding to himself with natural energy. I am sure he could beat Aunt Amaterasu. Michael, makes sense. Even my lord, God had the utmost respect for sages, to the point that he made it a priority to form an alliance with them. Sages are beings of immense ability. Surzech, chuckle of course, we devils always feared the combination of the sage's natural energy and the angel's light energy, so much that the original Lucifer ordered the sage's extinction. Azazel, look here kids, we are not exaggerating when it comes to sages and natural energy. Even being an incomplete sage would gain you respect. But for you to be a perfect sage ... well, that could be enough for you to have your own mini religion. Gathering natural energy and being able to use it is one of the hardest things in world, but also one of the most beneficial. Let's see if those two can take on Sage Enhanced Madara. Diasaka, so that's you in Sage mode. If I was separated, then the two that make me up wouldn't stand a chance. But as for me, I'm sure I can still do something to you. Is that right? Well then let's see how well you dance against the Uchiha, Madara said as he was now completely in sage mode. Ayasaka just paused for a minute to properly prepare herself. She took a deep breath, awakened the Sharingan and powered up her body to its maximum capability. She blitzed her way to Madara and landed a devastating punch on her target. Ayasaka smirked that she was able to land a hit, however her moment of pride was short-lived as the Madara she just hit quickly changed form and turned into broken wood. Ayasaka, TCH, a wood clone? Of course it wouldn't be that easy. Sinister laughter. How much can you see with those Sharingan of yours? Ayasaka turned around but found no one. It was only her and the rest of the group present in the area. Midult, where the hell did he vanish to? Rainier, looks like we gotta keep watching to find out. The surface area around Ayasaka soon began sprouting large wooden branches, and it looked like Ayasaka was completely caged in a wooden prison. Ayasaka still wore a bored look on her face as branches sprouting from the ground did not interest her. However, Ayasaka's boredom would soon evaporate as the branches around her began changing and taking the forms of humans. The Nine-Tails vampire broke out a devilish smile as she was surrounded by 15 Madaras. Before they could even move, Ayasaka conjured up multiple golden flaming bats from both her hands and launched one to every single Madara wood clone. Once her projectiles made contact with the wood clones, they exploded on impact, creating a massive chain reaction of explosions. And the handsome Madaras all went boom. Was I supposed to be intimidated by your copycats? Ayasaka questioned as the dust and clouds of smoke began to subside. Menacing laughter. Madara, this is why I asked how much could you see with those Sharingan of yours. Ayasaka grew a more serious face as she was wondering what was Madara getting at. Ayasaka, what do you mean? Madara, those clones were not meant to attack you, in fact the opposite. I wanted you to attack them. I can see that you failed to notice what was inside them. Ayasaka, inside them. What to yell? Ayasaka stopped talking as now the dust finally settled and all she saw on the ground were shattered Madara clones. But she noticed what Madara was talking about. Within the broken pieces of wood were large closed flower buds. The flower buds opened and all of them released a large amount of pollen. This unfortunately caught Ayasaka by surprise and she inhaled some of the pollen from the flowers. She quickly blitzed her way out of that area. However, the damage was already done. The pollen was deep within her system and it was starting to take effect. Madara appeared behind Ayasaka and just folded his arms as he wanted to see how she would respond. Ayasaka sensed Madara's presence and quickly turned around to face. She saw him just standing there casually, and saw this as her moment. She tried to blitz him, however, before she could even move her muscles. She felt extreme discomfort within her body. Ayasaka began coughing uncontrollably and began clenching her chest as felt a sharp pain there. Madara just looked at the struggling Ayasaka and kept his bored expression as he was completely unamused. Her breathing started to become heavier, and her vision was slowly become a blur. Ayasaka, coughing plus heavy breathing, what did you do to me? What was in those flowers? Madara, are you done? Because if you are then come out already. The Ayasaka that was kneeling just stopped her play acting and released a playful giggle. Ayasaka, well looks like you got me. The Ayasaka in front of Madara disappeared and the original appeared behind him and she wore a playful grin. Ayasaka, giggle, come on now, be honest, I got you just a little. Madara, HMPH, you sure about that? I already won this battle before you even fused. I just played along because I wanted to see if would catch my plan. Ayasaka raised an eyebrow at what Madara said. She couldn't see any way that Madara could have outplayed her. She was 100% sure he was just bluffing to get into her head. HMPH, as if, you're just bluffing. Come now darling, just admit it, I got you with my little play. Madara, chuckle, is that so? Tell me something, aren't you two forgetting about one significant detail? Ayasaka, what detail? What on earth could you pos? Ayasaka didn't finish her sentence as she now knew what Madara was talking about. She felt an extremely sharp object pressed on her neck. It would only need a bit more force before it would draw blood from her neck. Ayasaka, limbo. Madara, I noticed that you two ignored it when it wasn't moving. I concluded that your sensory ability is not yet strong enough for you to sense my limbo clone constantly. You lost this battle the second you ignored my limbo clone. Ayasaka, damn it, and I didn't even get a chance to give you everything I have. Madara, worry not, we shall battle again. You seem to be an interesting dance partner, however we must prepare to depart. Time is of the essence, isn't that right you four? Once Madara uttered those words, four figures revealed themselves next to the rest of the group and they all wore an extremely annoyed look. Azazel, oh no. Michael, this is bad. Surzech, this is very bad. Nervous laughter. Graphia, Seraphal, Penemu, Gabriel, how are you four ladies doing? You four are looking very beautiful today. Don't you try and sweet-talk your way out of this, Sirzech. You should be preparing for an extremely important event, yet you three are just wasting precious time. Look at you. Have you three even bathed? Graphia questioned with her frustration rising by the second. Seraphal, well, are you three going to answer her or what? The three faction leaders became dead silent. They knew if they said something it would completely backfire on them. And you three, you just leave them to go ahead and engage in a training session, instead of preparing for Olympus. Penemu said in anger as her eyes were fixated on Rainier, Calawarner and Middlet. Calawarner, well, to be fair, Rainier, they already had their sparring match by the time we arrived. We just found them here recovering. Middlet, so you really can't put the blame on us. All four ladies, everyone please, go ahead and get ready, otherwise there will be some serious consequences. The rest of the group felt a chill in the air, as the way the four ladies said their request truly intimidated them. The rest of the group on it. And as for you going to stay like that or you going to separate? Madara questioned while looking at Daiasaka. Daiasaka, sigh, I suppose the two that make me up should get ready, but I will be back soon, handsome. Try not to miss me as much as I will miss you. Daiasaka blew Madara a kiss and gave him one last wink before diffusing into Yasaka and Diana. Wow, that really took a lot out of me, Yasaka stated as she placed her hand on her forehead and was recovering from her technique. Diana, I can understand. After all, our fusion was mostly drawing from your power than mine. Plus you also had to use a portion of your energy to maintain the fusion. Yasaka, slight panting, yeah, but it's thanks to KCM, it really is a game changer for me, but it also takes a lot out of me. Diana, will you be able to come with us to Olympus? Do you not need to rest and recover? Yasaka, slight panting, oh no, I'm coming along. I just need to catch my breath. Interesting ability you have there, Yasaka, Madara said while he deactivated Sage Mode. Yasaka, slight panting, thank you. Chuckle, makes me wonder how strong the fusion would be if I fused with you, dear. Madara, HMPH, I suppose I would be able to use KCM. But enough chatter, let us prepare to depart. Wait, can I have a moment with you, big brother? Asia said as she made her way to Madara and the two ladies. Diana just placed Yasaka's arm over her shoulder and summoned her large bat wings, and flew to the estate with the leader of the Yokai to give Madara and Asia some privacy. Madara, what is it, Asia? Asia didn't say anything. She just kept getting closer and closer to the Uchiha. Madara raised an eyebrow as he was wondering what was going on in Asia's mind. Asia just simply opened up her arms and gave Madara an affectionate hug. What is this about, child? Madara questioned in a bored tone. I missed you, big brother, Asia said as she buried her face into Madara's torso. Madara just continued to look at Asia with a bored and stoic look. Asia, we never really had a moment to spend time together ever since my birthday. We have just been moving around. Everything has just been busy. You have been busy. Madara, you act as if we haven't seen each other for quite some time, and besides, when I am busy, you have the rest of the group to keep you company. Asia just groaned as he said that. She raised her head so she could look him in the eye, and Madara could see that she wore a serious expression. Asia, you just don't get, big brother. Of course I love the rest of the group and I am truly happy that I finally have a home and family. I will always treasure them. But you are forgetting one very, very crucial thing, Madara, and that is, Asia, you are the most important person to me, big brother. Without you this life would have just remained a dream. So please don't be surprised when I do things like this. I want you to understand these words. I love you, big brother. I really do, and I want you to remember that I will always love you. By being with you and watching you, you truly have made me a believer. Madara, Huo. A believer in what exactly? Asia, in you and your dream. The way you have made me and everyone stronger. The way you killed a titan. The way you were able to defend and save Kyoto, it's just amazing, and I know to you these may be small things, but to me it's breathtaking. The way you carry yourself, the way you are always so calm under pressure, and the way you can always figure out a means of improvement for me and everyone else, it inspires me. You are my role model, big brother. Madara remained silent and continued looking at Asia, letting her words sink in his mind. Asia, I guess what I really want to say and what I want you to know is I appreciate you and beyond grateful to have you in my life, big brother. Thank you for everything and I love you with all my heart, big brother. Madara just observed the affection in Asia's eyes and he couldn't help but break out a subtle smile. She truly has become the female Izuna to him. Madara, chuckle, let us depart, child. Hey, this isn't funny, I'm serious, big brother, Asia said with a pout. Madara chose not to respond and began making his way to the estate. However, he didn't make it far because Asia grabbed hold of his hand. Asia, before we go inside, big brother, I want to ask you for one more thing. Madara, speak. Asia, I want to change my last name from Asia Argento to Asia Uchiha. Madara paused and looked at Asia with an amused look on his face. Madara, Huo, so you wish to become a member of the Uchiha. Tell me, where has this desire come from? Asia, it's simple. I made the decision to leave my old life in the past. To me that includes my last name. And like I told you before, I never had any family. I have always been in the church. But being your little sister and creating a bond with you has given my life purpose. You are my family now, and that makes me very happy. So if you don't mind, could you please truly accept me as a member of your family and allow me to be Asia Uchiha? And you are serious about this? You must understand, Asia, the name Uchiha carries power and honor with it. Back where I come from, the name Uchiha struck fear into the land. That name has won wars, conquered countries, destroyed entire empires, and has literally held the fate of lives in its hands. Do not take my words lightly, Asia. To be an Uchiha is more of an honor than to lead a nation in this world. To take that name, you don't only represent yourself, you represent a clan and people that had power to dominate the world. Madara stated with his hair covering his right eye. Asia, not to be disrespectful, big brother, but I don't care about representing other Uchihas. I care about representing you and the legacy you are creating, and of course I will do my absolute best to uphold the reputation of the Uchiha, but most importantly of you. Madara, HMPH, is that right? Yes, so please allow me as a member of your clan. Allow me to be Asia Uchiha. Asia said with a determined look in her face. The blonde has never been more sure of wanting to be a full member of Madara's family. Madara, HMPH, very well then. As of this moment I accept you as Asia Uchiha. Represent that name with dignity, Asia. Asia jumped for joy when she heard Madara's response. She embraced him in one more hug. She truly did treasure these tender moments with her elder brother. Madara, Asia, from now on as a member of the Uchiha, you are to don the family crest on the back of your clothing. Asia looked at Madara with an inquisitive look as she was wondering what he meant by that. Asia, family crest. I never knew we had a family crest. Madara simply turned around and showed Asia the back of his shirt, and she saw the crest Madara was talking about. Asia, oh, that's what that is. I thought it was just the design or logo of the shirt. Now I see. I would gladly wear the Uchiha crest on my clothes from now on, big brother. Besides, it looks kinda cool. Madara, let us depart, child. Inside the castle, it was absolute mayhem as the rest of the group was busy moving around making sure their outfits were in order. Everyone wanted at least 2 outfits, one for the Olympics and one for the wedding. The women in the group were causing the most havoc as they wanted to make sure they had the perfect outfits for both events. Oh, it's perfect, thank you so much, Asia said as she took her dress from one of the angels. The women saw the Asia's dress and they all loved it, but all of them noticed something familiar about on it. Wait a minute, where have I seen that logo before? Rainier questioned as she noticed a symbol on the back of Asia's dress. Asuka, yeah, I have also seen that before. Asia, oh, this, you guys have seen it on the back of Big Brother's clothes. Calawarner, yeah, that's right, why does your dress have it as well? Asia, oh yeah, you guys don't know Giggle, well, it's the Uchiha family crest. I was speaking to Big Brother earlier, and I asked him to accept me into his clan. So as from now on I am Asia Uchiha, and if you are a member of the Uchiha you need to wear the family crest on the back of your clothing. Wait, you did what? Middle asked in shock. Diana, so that's why you wanted a moment with him. Kanu, no fair. I also want to be part of Papa's clan and wear the family crest. Yasaka, well, aren't you lucky? You are the first one among some of us to be part of the Uchiha. Tiamat, enjoy it for now. You won't be the only Uchiha in this room for long. Asia just grinned at all their jealousy. She was really happy to have the honor of carrying the Uchiha name, and it annoyed a lot of the ladies in the room. Gabriel, how does it feel, Asia? Asia, amazing. It feels like me and Big Brother are a true family now, like I am actually his little sister. And now that I wear the family crest, it feels like I always carry a piece of him with me. Diana, damn it, don't say things like that, Asia. You making some of us really jealous now. Middlet, like you have no idea. Penemu, ladies enough, let's just get our attires ready. They will be expecting us at Olympus very soon. We are already running late as the Olympics have started. The castle main door. The whole group were waiting at the main door with their suitcases. They were all dressed in smart casual attire. Their outfits for the wedding were in their respective suitcases along with all other essentials. They were all waiting for Madara to appear as they were all ready to leave. Serafal, where is he? We can't exactly leave without the VIP of these events. Asuka, give him a minute. Madara-sama is a person that just like to do things his way. That includes getting ready. Soon enough after Asuka finished her words, everyone heard footsteps coming down the staircase and they all shifted their attention to it. Coming down the staircase was our sharing and wielding protagonist. However, he had a dramatic change of wardrobe. Madara was dressed in all black. His outfit consisted of smart black shoes, slim back formal pants, a black formal shirt, and to top it of a large black coat. Think of the Hawkeye coat in terms of look, and the coat had a large Uchiha crest on the back of it. Asuka whistles. Would you look at that? Diana, who knew all black would look so sexy on a man. Yasaka, well, they do say the clothes make the man. Issei, it should be the other way around. I think sensei makes this all black look even more badass. Let us depart, Madara said as he made his way to the group. Rainier, that does make me wonder, how the hell are we going to get to Olympus anyway? Michael and Gabriel, leave that to us. Oh no you don't, where do you think you are going? Yasaka questioned as she could see that Kanu was trying to join them. Kanu, I'm going with you all. Yasaka, oh no you don't, your punishment is to stay here and continue for training. Don't think I forgot about you sneaking out of the palace. Kanu, but. Yasaka, no buts. Kanu, come on, that's not fair, Papa please. Yasaka, don't you even try and use your father to get out of this. You are staying here and that is final. Do you understand me, Kanu? Kanu, mumbling ... yes mama. Yasaka, how about we try that again? With a little bit more volume this time. Kanu, frustrated sigh. Fine. Yes mama, I understand. I will stay behind and continue training. Yasaka, good. Michael, Gabriel, please continue. Nidult, see you later. Kanu, don't burn the place down. The two angels create a magic circle underneath the group's feet, and within an instant they were teleported away. Kanu, I guess I can always try enter KCM again and use my clones as training buddies. Mount Olympus. The group found themselves in an extremely large room with chairs that would put the thrones of kings to shame. They were all placed in a circle formation, and within the middle of the chairs was a golden statue of Zeus wielding his famous lightning bolt. The group heard thunder all around them and the golden statue began to glow extremely bright. Michael, plus facepalm, he's here and of course he has to make his grand entrance. Soon enough a bolt of lightning struck the area just in front of the group and it delivered to them the greatest god in Greek mythology, Zeus, the god of gods. Zeus, welcome, welcome, I am so pleased that you all finally arrive. I am Zeus, the god of gods, and once again welcome to the most beautiful place in all creation. Mount Olympus. Yasaka, as humble as ever, aren't you Zeus? Zeus, my, what do we have here? My eyes have truly been blessed to see such beauties before me. Gabriel, Penemu, Yasaka, Graphia, Tiamat, and Seraphol, you all look magnificent today, as do the other ladies accompanying you all. Especially you, my dear. What is your name? Diana, the name is Dracula, Diana Dracula, Queen of the Vampires. Zeus looked at Diana and he wore a beyond amused expression on his face. Zeus, whoa, Dracula. And you say you are the Queen of the Vampires, which means you are not just any vampire. You are of royal blood ... It can't be. What is it? Diana questioned with an inquisitive look. You must be the child of Vlad Dracula. This is truly astonishing. How can an atrocity like Vlad create such beauty like you? It must be due to your mother's genes. You do look a lot like Martha. Zeus said as he got closer to Diana. Diana, you know of my mother and father. Zeus, chuckle, know them. I nearly killed your father for his impotence. He dared to challenge me, Zeus the greatest of the Greek gods. Diana, so he is alive then? Zeus, well, the coward ran away before I could kill him, so I suppose he is still breathing. Diana, good thing you didn't finish him off. Zeus, and why is that? Diana, because I will kill him. So you have learned of your father's true nature. Very well then. And you, my dear, there is something awfully familiar about you. Zeus said as he shifted his attention to Asuka. It has been quite some time, hasn't it, Zeus? Jesus said as he now took over. Zeus, big laughter. Jesus, the Son of God, so the second coming has finally arrived. The rumors were true then, your soul resides in a human host. Jesus, that's right. Zeus, that's too bad. I would have loved another round of me and you going at it. Jesus, chuckle, is that right? Last I remember I was stronger than you, Zeus. In fact, if my memory is correct, which it is, I won every single time you challenged me. Zeus, chuckle, times have changed, Jesus. You and your father have been gone for centuries. My strength is not what it used to be. That reminds me, why don't you tell Michael and Gabriel here to give me heaven as a second home? It's only right that a god rules over it. Jesus, you are not worthy of that throne. Don't forget who was its former ruler, Zeus. Zeus, chuckle, I joke with you, Jesus. I hate to admit it, but your father was in a league of his own. He was the only god that could take down Bahamut, and he was our only hope in defeating Trihexa and Lucifer. I know where and who to show my respect to. Jesus, good. Zeus, Michael, Azazel, and Serzech, I take it that you three are doing well. Michael, quite well Zeus. Serzech, yes, all is well Zeus. Azazel, yeah, never better. And you must be the man I have been waiting for, the infamous Madara Uchiha. Zeus said as he shifted his attention to Madara. So you're Zeus, huh? The so-called greatest of the Greek gods? Madara questioned with an unimpressed look on his face. Zeus, that I am, Madara Uchiha. However, the talk between you and I should be a little more exclusive. Zeus clapped his hands and several servants entered the room. Zeus, please everyone, allow my servants to take your bags and escort you to your rooms. From then on, you are free to enjoy yourselves, you may rest, have the feast of a god, take a tour of Olympus, or witness our great Olympic Games. The choice is yours. However, for you Madara, I request an audience with you privately, my friend. The rest of the group grabbed their things and walked with Zeus's servants to their respective rooms, leaving Madara and Zeus together. Zeus, how about we get a better scenery than this? A bolt of lightning struck Zeus and Madara and they both got transported away. Zeus's temple. Madara and Zeus were now at the tallest point of Mount Olympus, inside a beautifully designed and crafted temple that had all the luxuries a god could need, the finest furniture, the most beautiful art, and the most rarest and desirable material possessions. Wine. Zeus offered as a servant came with a tray carrying a bottle of Zeus's favorite wine and 2 diamond-encrusted glasses. I prefer whiskey, Madara said while taking a look at his surroundings. Zeus, man of certain taste, come, take a look at my kingdom. Madara and Zeus took a walk to the temple balcony, and to the average person, the view was just absolutely beautiful. The clear blue skies, the surrounding mountains filled healthy forests, wildlife and never-ending waterfalls, the large neighboring temples of each Greek god, the beautifully crafted giant stone statues of the gods scattered all over Olympus, and to top it all off a giant arena in that was northeast of Madara and Zeus. To many, the view would be nothing short of a fantasy. However, to Madara, it was nothing more than something to look at. Zeus, beautiful ... I sent it. Is this really what you brought me here for? Madara questioned as he looked at Zeus with an extremely bored look. Zeus, straight to business, huh? Chuckle ... Very well then, why did you do it? Madara, do what? Zeus, actually forget about that. The real question is how did you it? How on earth did a human get so much power that they could kill a titan? Madara, you all act as if it was something difficult. Was it supposed to be some great honor to kill that thing? Zeus just looked at Madara with an amused look on his face after hearing his response. Zeus, they weren't joking when they say you are an interesting one. Madara, listen here, even though what you killed was an inferior titan, it is still a titan. We Greek gods are of course a stronger force than the titans. And even though some of us wouldn't need to go all out against the titan you faced, all of us would still have to take it seriously, so forgive me. But hearing that a human killed a titan, a being that can rival a god, it just sounds impossible. Madara, then that's your problem. My power is nothing like this world has ever seen. Zeus just kept looking at Madara with a calculating gaze, as he wanted to test something about the ghost of the Uchiha. Madara and Zeus just kept staring at each other. Then before even a nanosecond could pass, a large bolt of lightning came charging for the Uchiha. And within the unbelievably short time he had, Madara shifted his gaze to the incoming bolt of lightning, activated the Mangekyo Sharingan and used Kamui to warp the bolt of lightning away. Looking for a challenge, lightning boy? Madara questioned with his killing intent slowly rising. Zeus, chuckle on the contrary, I was simply testing something. That was one of my fastest and most deadliest bolts of lightning. Never mind doing something about it. No human should be able to even react to it. I suppose there is some truth in what you are saying. However, it just cannot be your power alone. What sacred gear do you have? Or which divine being blessed you with power? Madara broke into an amused chuckle. The god that was in front of him was starting to test his patience. Listen here, I am not so pathetic that I need some weak entity to give me power. Even you gods of heaven and earth cannot begin to comprehend the power of Madara Uchiha. Madara said with his aura slowly rising. Zeus, chuckle, is that so? Willing to back up that statement. Madara, HMPH, I'm even sure my use of lightning surpasses anything you are capable of, so-called greatest of all Greek gods. Zeus, huo, so you are a lightning user, and you think yours is better than the actual god of lightning. Chuckle, I like your confidence, Madara. Let's see what you are truly capable of. Madara and Zeus just locked eyes with one another and their auras were rising to dangerous levels. It got to the point where Zeus's temple was experiencing a mini earthquake. The great arena of Olympus. The arena was roaring with the cheers from the spectators. All over the arena you could see the passion and love the spectators felt for this great event. The group arrived to the arena and many of them were blown away by the atmosphere that was generated from the crowd. I think I am going to go deaf, Rainier said as she covered her ears due to all the noise. Asuka, our Olympics got nothing on this. I can genuinely feel the floor vibrate under my shoes. Azazel, chuckle, of course it doesn't. The Olympics started in Greece to honor the Greek gods. There is just nowhere in the world or supernatural world that celebrates this event quite like Greece and Olympus. Announcer, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for patience. The break is finally over. We are ready to continue the next events of the Olympics. Crowd cheering. Who is she? Issei asked as the announcer was someone who caught his eyes. Unfortunately for the Red Dragon Emperor, he was immediately punched at the top of his head by Rainier and Calawarner. Chuckle that my young friend is Nike, the goddess of victory. Everyone turned their attention to the side and they could all see a handsome and muscular young man coming their way. He was dressed in a royal white robe similar to that of Zeus. Rainier, wow, look at those muscles. And who exactly might you be? Calawarner questioned as she too couldn't help but admire the young man's physique. Omi, I am no one special. Penemu, stop that nonsense. You are incredibly special. Have you forgotten that one of the reasons we are here is because of you? Guys, the man in front of you is none other than Hercules, the son Zeus and soon-to-be husband. Hercules, sigh, always have to ruin the fun, don't you, Penemu? But yes, she is right. I am Hercules, son of Zeus and strongest of all demigods. Issei, dude, you get married tomorrow. Congrats, man. That's right, we offer our congratulations. Young Hercules, I am so proud to see that you have grown and matured, Michael said as he got closer to Hercules to give the son of Zeus a handshake. Hercules, thank you, Michael. It means a lot to me to have you all here for my wedding. You know I have fought in countless battles and have faced impossible odds many times in my life, but this is the most nervous I have ever been. This marriage thing is like nothing I have ever encountered. Nah, don't worry about it. I'm sure after all you have been through, you can handle being married to another person, Azazel said as he placed his hand on Hercules' shoulder. Hercules, chuckle, thank you, Azazel. You always have a way of making me at ease. By the way, where is the Madara Uchiha? I don't see him among you. Sirzech, Madara is with your father. He wanted to have a chat with Madara privately. Crowd cheering. Hercules, oh I see, well please follow me. You are our special guests, it's only right that you get the best seats in the arena, and besides, I'm sure you would like to meet the other gods. Hercules led the way and the group followed closely behind, until they reached the VIP section of the arena, where all the other Greek gods were seated and watching the games unfold. Some time had passed and the games carried on as planned. There were many winners and losers on this day. Some events had close calls. Some events were not even a contest. But all in all, most of the events were entertaining. For Madara's group, for the spectators, and most importantly for the gods. The group had time to meet and converse with the other Greek gods and demigods. Some of them were pleasant to meet, others not so much. However, all of them had a heavenly and divine aura about them. Issei and Hercules become good friends absurdly quickly. Issei admired Hercules' legacy and the power, while Hercules found Issei's behavior and personality rather charming. Issei, hey Hercules, I got a question. Hercules, what is it, Issei? Issei, I have been wondering, since this is not exactly the same as the human Olympics and is not on Earth, who are the contestants that participate in the games? Crowd cheering. Hercules, I see. Well, let me explain it to you. The contestants are usually comprised of humans and supernaturals. They are elite athletes that have proven themselves on Earth, therefore they are invited to our Olympics to test their might against other worthy competitors for the chance to become Olympic champion and receive rewards and blessings from the gods. Issei, is that right? Maybe one day I will participate. Hercules, chuckle, I will be sure to be cheering for you on, my friend. Crowd cheering. Nike, thank you. These games have truly been something special. But now we move on to our final event to warp up these magnificent games. Are you all ready? Crowd cheering. Nike, that's what we want to hear. Very well then, the next event. Nike didn't finish her sentence as she noticed something heading to the arena at ridiculous speeds. She quickly moved out the way so she wouldn't get injured, and literally a split second after she moved, something crashed into the arena and created a large dust cloud. The whole arena became dead silent as everyone present was wondering what on Olympus has just entered the arena. Seraphol, what the hell was that? Graphia, I'm not sure. Gabriel, let us wait for the dust to settle, we will know soon enough. Soon enough the dust cloud settled and everyone was able to finally get a visual, and what they saw truly shocked them. What they saw was a small crater in the arena floor, and they all saw Zeus within the crater. So is that the best you can do? Greatest of all Greek gods. Everyone shifted their attention to where the voice was coming from, and they all saw Madara standing on the highest point of the arena. Laughter. Zeus climbed out of the crater with biggest smirk he has ever produced in a long time. This human, Madara Uchiha, was truly amusing the god of lightning. I suppose our warm-up session is over. How about we give a spectacular show for everyone here, Madara? Zeus said as she just stretched his neck and muscles. I see things have not changed, Poseidon. Jesus said as he took over Asuka's body and looked at Poseidon. Poseidon, far from it. My old friend, my little brother, loves to show off his dominance. So that's the infamous Madara Uchiha, huh? Athena questioned as she kept her sole focus on our protagonist. Oh wow, and he is challenging father. He has already caught my interest, Aphrodite said with a smirk. Penemu, facepalm, we have only been here for a few hours and he is already challenging the strongest god here. I highly doubt it. I'm sure it's the other way around. Father must be the one to provoke him, Apollo said while drinking some wine. Who cares? Who challenged who? Let's see some blood, Ares said as his excitement levels were beginning to rise. Always hungry for blood, aren't you, Ares? Hephaestus questioned while looking at his excited brother. That human is a fool if he thinks he can take on my husband, Hera stated with extreme confidence in Zeus. Zeus started to control his breathing and began powering up. The clear blue skies that everyone was enjoying was quickly replaced with dark gray clouds all over the skies. All around Olympus, thunder could be heard and the gray clouds in the skies were all giving off sparks of lightning. Zeus's eyes began to glow and his body was completely surrounded in an aura of lightning. The king of Olympus slowly began flying upwards as he wanted to be on equal ground with Madara. Zeus reached the other tallest point of the arena that was directly opposite to where Madara was. Zeus raised his hand to the skies and an extremely bright bolt of lightning began manifesting in his hand. Looks like father is serious. He even brought out one of his lightning bolts. Artemis said, aren't you all fearful for your friend? He could die from one of father's bolts, Hermes said while looking at Madara's group. Tiamat, no. And why is that? Athena questioned as she was curious to know how could Madara's group have such confidence in him. Diana, simple, that's because my king always has something up his sleeve. Madara looked at Zeus with a bored look on his face as he was far from intimidated, but he could also tell that Zeus is not going all out against him. Are you prepared, Madara? Zeus questioned as his bolt completely manifested within his hand. Madara, pathetic, and you call yourself the god of lightning. What is that glowing twig supposed to do against me? If you want to see lightning, I will show you what true manipulation of lightning looks like. Madara raised his right hand to the skies and once again all over Olympus thunder could be heard. However, this time the thunder was much more louder and aggressive than before. Soon after, everyone could hear what sounded like a screeching roar from within the clouds. Shortly after that, multiple roars could be heard coming from the clouds and each time the roars kept getting louder and louder. Poseidon, what is that sound? Hestia, I'm not sure but it sounds menacing. Just wait for it, you all are about to see something special, Cersei said with a smile as he knew very well what Madara is bring. Madara, it is time, come on out, Kirin. Immediately after Madara uttered those words, the head of a giant lightning dragon appeared above him and when the dragon locked eyes with Zeus, it roared with extreme intensity. Everyone present couldn't believe what they were seeing, especially the gods. Never have they seen a manipulation of lightning that possibly looked better than anything Zeus has ever created. Issei, oh now that's what I'm talking about, sensei. Of course he would create a fucking lightning dragon. Graphia, have you noticed it, Cersei? Cersei, yes I have Graphia, it's much bigger. Wait, you know about that ability? Yasaka questioned as she and everyone else expect for Diana and Graphia looked at Cersei with a curious look. Cersei, yes I do, Madara summoned it once before, in order to kill Riser, however that one was significantly smaller than this one. Zeus couldn't help but be amazed at what he was looking at. He never believed he would ever encounter someone who could rival him in the game of lightning. The king of Olympus couldn't help but feel a pinch of anxiety. He wasn't expecting something like this from Madara. He underestimated the Uchiha. Athena, we cannot let those two attacks collide. If they do, they will completely destroy the arena and quite possibly a portion of Olympus. Artemis, we cannot allow that to happen. Any ideas? Middle questioned as she and everyone could see that Madara and Zeus were getting ready to launch their attacks. Asia, we need to talk them out of it. We will talk to Big Brother and you guys talk to Zeus. Hercules, she is right, there is not enough time to do something else. Everyone sprung into action with a few of the gods and goddesses flying over to Zeus's corner in order to stop him from launching his attack, while some from Madara's group flew to his corner in order to stop him from launching Kirin. Big Brother, please stop, Asia pleaded as she was being carried by Diana. Move, was all Madara said as his focus was still on attacking Zeus. Tiamat, my lord, I beg of you, think about what you are doing. Madara, I know exactly what I am doing. I'm teaching Fool an important lesson. Diana, he is not worth it, my king. Remember what you are here for. It's to meet the other gods, not waste your time on Zeus. Madara hesitated in launching Kirin. It looked like Diana's words were pressing the right buttons. Asia, please big brother, don't do this for me, please big brother. Madara looked over at Zeus and he could see that he deactivated his lightning bolt and began suppressing his energy. Very well then, Madara said. However, he still wanted to leave his mark on Zeus's ego. All eyes were on Madara now. They were all waiting for him to stand down. Madara just smirked as he looked at Zeus. Begone with the thunderclap. Madara brought down his hands and Kirin roared one last time. Everyone thought Madara was planning on attacking Zeus. However, that's not what he planned. Kirin changed directions and struck down Zeus's beloved temple, completely destroying it. He just destroyed Father's temple ... the jewel of Olympus. Apollo said in shock. Okay, he is really interesting me now, Aphrodite said in a seductive tone. Athena couldn't help but smile at Madara's actions. She has never seen a human with this much audacity in her lifetime. Poseidon had an amused look on his face. He was wondering how his little brother would react to having his pride and joy destroyed before his very eyes. All the eyes were on Zeus now as they were all waiting to see his reaction. Zeus, oh well, I suppose I can always build a better temple. Hera, wait ... you are not angry, my love. Poseidon, he has no right to be angry. He is the one who started this fight, isn't that right, brother? Zeus, yes it is. I wanted to see if this human was actually as powerful as they say he is. Athena, and your thoughts, father? I would rather keep that information between us gods, Zeus said as he could see Madara and his group coming their way. Zeus, impressive Madara, I never would have guessed your strongest lightning ability was creating a dragon. Madara just looked at Zeus and smirked at the god. He found it very amusing that Zeus assumed Kirin was his strongest lightning ability. Madara, chuckle, you think that was my strongest ability? HMPH, that was a mere demonstration of my power. I have something far greater than that. Everyone, including his own group, looked at Madara with an interested and intrigued look on their face. Poseidon, wait ... you have something more powerful than what we just saw. Madara, that's right. Hera, you are bluffing. You only saying that because my husband here didn't go all out against you. Therefore you pretending to have more power in order to mask your limits. Human. Madara's released an amused chuckle. All this assuming was mere entertainment for the Uchiha. Madara, I have nothing to prove to you gods. However, I will leave you with this. Since you believe I have limits, if you ever hear the words Indra's arrow, you should be very afraid. Athena kept a close watch on Madara's facial expressions when he was saying those words, and she couldn't help but like the look in his eyes. Is that so? Well, maybe one day we will hear the words Indra's arrow, but please, enjoy the rest of the day. And I ask you be ready for the wedding tomorrow. Now if you will excuse me, there are some things I need to tend to. Zeus said, then walked away with Hera following close behind him. Poseidon, forgive my younger brother. He can be a bit extreme with his introductions. Athena, yes, father likes doing this his way. Madara, and you too are. Poseidon, I am Poseidon, god of the seas. Athena, and I am Athena, goddess of war and wisdom. Madara looked at Athena and began analyzing the goddess in front of him. This is who Yasaka says she can rival because of KCM. I wonder if she was not overestimating her power. Hagoromo, it's a possibility. I do remember Sirzech saying, she is the greatest of the Greek goddesses, and by sensing the energy coming from her, he may be right. Yes, she does possess an impressive amount of power. The fusion between Yasaka and Diana could perhaps take her. However, Yasaka by herself, she would struggle immensely. Madara responded. Madara, so you're the greatest goddess in Olympus, huh? Athena, so you have heard of me. Poseidon, aren't those who are wise supposed to be humble? Athena, Athena, there is no arrogance here, Poseidon. It's a fact, I am the greatest goddess in all of Greek mythology. Poseidon, HMPH if you say so. You want to have another battle, dear uncle? You do remember what I did to one of your islands and your famous temple in Greece, right? Athena questioned as she looked at Poseidon with her aura rising. Poseidon, maybe some other time, we have guests after all. Athena, I suppose you are right. Please this way, Madara. I'm sure my brothers and sisters want to meet the human who challenged our father in his own game. Madara and company began to follow Athena and Poseidon to the VIP section of the arena. Hera's temple. Hera, are you sure you okay, my love? Hera was asking this because she could see that Zeus was displaying a fake smile in order to mask his true feelings. Zeus punched one of the walls of temple, completely reducing it into nothing but rubble. Hera snapped her fingers and the sound summoned a few of her servants. My dears, could you please clean up that mess and fetch us a bottle of Zeus's favorite wine? Hera requested, and her servants were quick to get to work. Zeus, I cannot accept it. Hera, accept what, my love? Zeus, a human being that powerful, it just cannot be possible. A human with power that can rival us the gods. The mere sound of it is just ridiculous. Humans serve and worship us gods, not rival us. The servant returned and gave Hera a tray with 2 wine glasses and the bottle of wine. Zeus, that power cannot be his own. I have never seen a human that can rival me in the game of lightning. There must be a secret to his power. Maybe some god blessed him, or he was made a vanguard by some dragon. Maybe he has one of Ophiz's snakes in his body. Or he stole power from a divine being or multiple beings. I just cannot accept a human have such power. A human of all things, I could accept even a devil. But a human, it just cannot be. Perhaps Jesus' father blessed him with a sacred gear, and he is just hiding it. Wait a minute. Now I understand. What is it, my love? Hera questioned as she gave Zeus his glass of wine. Zeus, his eyes. When I launched one of my bolts at him, he just looked at it and it completely disappeared. I saw in that moment that his eyes changed color and had some strange symbol on them. That must be his sacred gear or divine blessing. Hera, you right, that could be it. I have heard from the stories about him that he does possess some strange eyes. But what kind of eyes allow a human to use lightning like that or have enough power to kill a titan? Zeus, perhaps those eyes allow him to steal the powers and abilities of other beings and make them his own. It is merely a hypothesis, but it's more reasonable than him saying it's his own power. There must be a secret to his strength. We cannot be having a human being this strong. We must find out his secret. Hera, my love, why do you say we cannot have a human with godlike power? We gods often give humans our blessing and grant them immense power. Zeus, that's the thing, Hera, we bless the humans. That power they obtain is not their own. It's our power being used through them. Now to have a human that can naturally compete with the gods, it can quite possibly upset the balance of all things. The human race is inferior to use gods. However, if there can be one of them that can rival us, there is a possibility that more of them could appear and take us on. A large part of our power is down to the humans' worship and praising us. If they see one of them can fight us, the rest of them may start getting ideas. Hera tightly gripped her wine glass. The thought of a world where humans do not need gods was giving her slight anxiety. Hera, we cannot let that happen. Zeus, exactly. However, worry not. I will get to the bottom of Madara Uchiha's power. I will know his secret. Several hours later on Olympus, the night along with the moon and its stars finally arrived to rule the skies. There was an immense party happening in one of the grand temples as Olympus. Many of its residents and a great amount of its visitors were celebrating the conclusion of the Olympic Games and all those that achieved a podium finish. A few gods and supernaturals began arriving to Olympus in order to be ready of Hercules' wedding, and a few of them indulged in the pleasures offered by the celebration. Our characters were enjoying the fun and pleasures of the celebration, some of them a bit too much. How the hell have you not heard of a bachelor's party? A drunk Issei questioned Hercules. Hercules, chuckle, I'm serious, I don't know what it is. A drunk Issei and a wasted Azazel just looked at Hercules with a shocked look on their face. Michael, don't mind them, Hercules, I believe they had one too many glasses of wine. Azazel, come on. Every man has to have a bachelor's party before they tie the knot. I assent that right, Sirzech, chuckle, no comment. Hercules, what even is this bachelor's party that you speak of? Issei got close to Hercules' face and whispered all that happens on a bachelor's party, and it slightly embarrassed the demigod. Though my friends, I don't need that kind of excitement in my life, and besides, one woman is all I need, Hercules said with a happy smile. He looked over to the other side of the temple and saw her soon-to-be bride, dancing and laughing with a few of her people, some goddess and our female characters, and it brought joy to Hercules' heart to see his beloved so happy. Hercules, by the way, I have a favor to ask you all. Issei, what is it, man? Hercules, I want to all to be my groomsmen, and you, Issei, I want you as my best man. Once again our characters looked at Hercules with a surprised and shocked look on their face. Issei, huh? Azazel, wait, what? Sirzech, you can't be serious. Michael, why would you ask us, Hercules? I'm sure you have plenty of other friends, gods and demigods that would love to take those roles. Why offer us? Hercules, it's simple. Even though we have only spent a few hours together, I consider you all my true friends. Many of the people I have met only want to become close to me because I am the son of Zeus. They don't really care about me. They care about my position. But you all have treated me like a true friends, and I treasure that, and besides I have known two of you for quite some time. Or have you forgotten about that, Azazel and Michael? Azazel, no of course not, but to pick us as groomsmen. I don't know what to say. Hercules. Hercules, say yes. Michael, I would be honored. Hercules. Hercules, thank you Michael. And of course you Sirzech, although we have spent very little time together. I consider you like an old friend and older brother. Besides, I'm sure there is a lot of advice you can give to me, seeing that you have been married for quite some time. Sirzech's nervous laughter. Don't make your wife angry. Trust me on that ... It may very well save your life ... and save you from years of pain. But if we are that close, then I have no reason to say no, so accept. Hercules, chuckle noted and thank you. So Azazel. Azazel, sure kid, I will do it. Not really my style, but for you I will gladly do it. Hercules, Issei. Issei, I don't know man ... It's even worse for me ... You picked me as your best man. Groomsmen I could have been comfortable with, but to be a best man ... It's a big role ... And besides, why do you pick me as the best man? Hercules, because I consider you my best friend. You pretty much the friend I never had. I have never encountered someone besides my bride that I have been so comfortable with, and that has made me laugh. I'm hoping to spend more years with you as my best friend. So what do you say? Issei just looked at Hercules and got slightly embarrassed at his words. He never thought in his entire life he would be a demigod's best friend. Well, if you put it like that, I can't say no now. I would look like an asshole. So yeah, I accept. I will do my best as your best man. Issei said, then extended his fist to Hercules for a fist bump. Hercules smiled and fist bumped his best friend and now best man. Wait. Did I just hear you say you want us as your bridesmaids? An intoxicated Rainier questioned Zafina with a surprised look on her face. Zafina, that's right, I want you, Calawarner, Asuka and Asia as my bridesmaids. Midult, hey, what about me? Zafina, chuckle, of course I haven't forgotten about you. I want you to be the ring bearer. I'm trusting you with mine and Hercules' rings. Midult, shit, now I feel an incredible amount of pressure. Those rings could be worth millions. Zafina, billions actually, but like I said, I trust you. Midult. Midult, nervous laughter. Yeah, no pressure at all ... Just gonna be in possession of two of the most expensive things I have ever held ... Yeah, no problem at all. God, I should have just kept my mouth shut. Asuka, wait, I'm still trying to understand what you just said. You want us as your bridesmaids. I don't get it. You like Queen of the Amazons. I'm sure you have plenty of followers you could pick from. Why us? Zafina, me and Hercules are very much alike, in that most of the time people want to be around us because of our position and status. My best friend at the time, Cassandra, died in battle 2 years ago. She was the only one to treat me normally like you all. The rest of them just praise and worship me. It gets annoying and old really fast. So what do you guys say? Calawarner, fuck, if I knew I was gonna be a bridesmaid, I would have asked for a better dress. Asia, to be invited to a wedding is such an honor, but to also be a bridesmaid, this is just amazing. I don't know what to say. Zafina. Asuka, tell me about it. I have never been to a wedding, and now I'm hearing you want us as bridesmaids. When we only just met, I'm honored. Zafina. Zafina, so what do you say? Rainier. Rainier, oh hell yes, I will be your bridesmaid. How many people can say they were the bridesmaid of the Queen of the Amazons? Calawarner, yeah, I will make sure she is sober for the wedding. Zafina, thank you all. Tomorrow is going to be the best day of my life, and it will be even more special now that I will share it with my friends. The celebrations raged on deep into the night, and unfortunately for many of those in Olympus, they were completely unaware that they're those plotting for disaster and chaos. The other side of Olympus, on the peak of a mountain that was overlooking the whole of Olympus, a soul figure stood there watching many of the supernaturals and gods celebrate the night away. Risvam, HMPH, look at them, drinking the night away. It's such a pity that they won't know what is coming tomorrow at their precious wedding. So this is where you are, Risvam. Risvam turned his head to the side and he saw a few familiar faces approaching him. Risvam, Hades, Medusa, Vlad, Cockabeel, Pandora, Ragnarok, Cronus, and my young apprentice Kazami. Did you all need something? I'm sure I explained the plan thoroughly earlier. Hades, no, we just came for the view as well. Risvam. Kazami, Asuka is here, isn't she? Kazami, I can sense her energy. Risvam, yes she is, however remember our plan, young Kazami. Our primary objective is to free and recruit the Titans. Our secondary objective is the destruction of Olympus. If those two are completed and if there is still time, then I suppose we can have a bit of fun. Medusa, I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. Finally I will be able to take revenge on the gods. Yes, the time of my brothers and sisters has come to an end. Isn't that right, father? Hades questioned as he looked at Cronus. Cronus, HMPH, my youngest son Zeus. I'm sure he is enjoying sitting on my throne. Worry not, my firstborn. Your brothers and sisters shall feel my wrath, and my grandchildren shall know true fear. And what about you, huh? You also bound to have a reunion with your daughter? Risvam questioned Vlad. Vlad just folded his arms and looked down at Olympus. Vlad, I suppose so. It will be interesting to see how strong Diana has become over the years. But to see her mingle with a human disgusts me. She still has her mother's weakness deep within her. Raizvim, do not underestimate Madara Uchiha. Off-Eyes even prepared her black mamba for him. He is no ordinary human. I'm sure Cockabeel knows this better than anyone. Isn't that right? Cockabeel didn't say a word, he just kept his eyes on the Grand Temple. The former Star of God went through a bit of a transformation in that now he is a hybrid with fallen angel and demonic energy flowing through his body. Pandora, is that right? For Off-Eyes to manifest her most powerful snake, he truly must be something special. Cronus, for him to kill one of my titans, then he should be something special for a human. Medusa, that reminds me, Raizvim ... How goes the revival of your father? Raizvim, sigh slow, we need more stray devil energy to revive father, we will get there eventually. Hades, HMPH, can't wait to see my old friend Lucifer, it's been too long. Vlad, enough chatter, let us head back to base. Tomorrow we strike and let the world and the gods know who we are. Raizvim, his right, as of tomorrow we commence the fall of Olympus. Raizvim and company just took one more look at all those who were celebrating and enjoying themselves. Their joy would only last for tonight. They soon vanished into the darkness of the night, leaving not a trace. Athena's temple. Madara was standing at one of the balconies on Athena's temple, but he couldn't help but keep his attention on the spot where Raizvim and his group were. Athena, something the matter? Madara. Madara, tell me, how strong is the security in Olympus? You are hosting quite an event tomorrow. Many gods from many mythologies will be present tomorrow. Athena, what are you fearing for your well-being? Madara, HMPH, you really asking me that question after you saw what I did to your father? That was really impressive. Madara looked to the side and saw that Aphrodite was approaching him and Athena. Madara, and you are? The name is Aphrodite. I am the goddess of beauty, love and lust. Aphrodite said with a seductive wink. Madara, who? Such a being exists, so you are not a fighter then? Aphrodite, oh no darling, but I can be deadly in other ways. Athena's sister got close to Madara and looked deep into his eyes with the intention of seducing Madara. Aphrodite, I'm sure you are also deadly in bed, aren't you? Madara Uchiha. The Uchiha just looked at her with his trademark stoic look as he was wondering what she was trying. Madara, and what exactly are you trying to do, woman? What? This is impossible. No human should be able to resist my seduction. Aphrodite said with a shocked look on her face. Madara, that was your attempt at seducing me. That was pathetic. Athena broke into an uncontrollable laughter as she has never seen her sister so embarrassed and humiliated in her entire life. Aphrodite wore an embarrassed as well as irritated look on her face, as this is the first time a human has resisted her charm and she has not received what she has wanted. Who is she? Aphrodite questioned as she refused to believe that a human could naturally resist her charm. Madara, Aphrodite, who is the woman that you have fallen in love with? That's the only logical explanation for you to resist my seduction. Your heart must belong to another. Madara, HMPH, is that what you think? Aphrodite, it's what I know. Madara just smirked at her remark. He brought his face closer to hers, and to Aphrodite's and Athena's surprise, the goddess of love became slightly embarrassed and was blushing due to how close Madara's was to hers. Or maybe your attempt at seduction was just that pathetic woman. Once again Athena lost control of herself and laughed at humiliation her sister was experiencing. Aphrodite just turned around and began walking away as she couldn't bear to keep experiencing this embarrassment. I think this is the first time I have seen my sister this embarrassed, Athena said as she was still recovering from her laughter. Madara, is that so? Athena, deep breaths, you must understand something. My sister is the goddess of beauty, love and lust. Usually when she has her eyes on someone and exercises her charm, she usually gets what she wants. I think this is the first time I have seen her not get what she wants. Oh, I will never forget this moment. Madara, back to the subject at hand, why have you brought me here? Athena. Athena, in all my years of living I have never seen a human quite like you. I am not like my brothers and sisters who tend to underestimate humans. I could see it in your eyes. You were not bluffing when you warned my father about Indra's arrow. You have more power deep within you, don't you? Madara, who? So you were paying attention. Athena, I am known as the goddess of warfare and wisdom. Madara, I have seen and been in more wars than there are days in a year. I have encountered many great beings in my time, and one of them who I respects you. Madara, you mean Christ. Athena, I have never seen Jesus have such faith and respect in a human as he does in you. That is something I just cannot ignore. So please tell me, exactly how strong are you? Madara. Madara, you will all see the true power of the Uchiha when the time comes. Athena, I'm counting on it. The day of the wedding. It was a beautiful day in the domain of the gods. There were clear blue skies with not a cloud in sight. The day just seemed so perfect to host a wedding. It looked like nothing could ruin this perfect day for lovers to unite. Or is there? Furniture crashing. Calawarner, you better take that fucking back, Rainier, or I swear to the gods, one of Zaphina's bridesmaids is going to end up with a black eye. Rainier, chuckle what, I'm just telling the truth, you look fat in that dress. Calawarner, alright, that's it, someone prepare a coffin for this bitch. Rainier had to quickly dodge a light spear that was thrown Calawarner, and the two of them engaged in their old favorite of trying to kill each other. Asuka just face-palmed at the fact Rainier and Calawarner would still fight with one another on such an important day. She shifted her head to the side and could see that Middlet was sweating bullets. Asuka, you alright, Middlet? Middlet, alright. Why wouldn't I be? Chuckle, it's not as if I am in the possessions of billion-dollar rings made from the rarest and most valuable material the world has ever known. Nervous chuckle, no, I am just fine. Nothing wrong here. I am perfectly fine. Oh god, don't let me lose these rings. Asuka, okay. Why? And what about you, Asia? How you doing? Asia just looked at Asuka and gave her a heartwarming smile. Asuka couldn't help but admire how beautiful Asia looked in her dress. Asia, I'm doing fine, Asuka. Actually, I'm excited. I have always wanted to be at a wedding and I have been wanting to wear this dress, so I can finally wear the Uchiha family crest. Asuka, oh yeah, I forgot. You Asia Uchiha now. Short silence. I don't know why, but for some reason I feel jealous. How come? Asia questioned with an interested look on her face. Sigh, I don't know. To me it kind of looks like you part of something special, like you actually belong and you are part of a family. I want something like that, Asuka said with a longing look in her eyes. You are a part of something, you have us, Asuka, Asia said as she got close to Asuka and took hold of both of her hands. Asuka, deep sigh, you just don't get it, Asia. Don't get me wrong. I am beyond grateful to have you all in my life, but it's not the same. You actually carry the Uchiha name and you guys have your own family crest. Like that's what I mean when I say you are actually part of something. You are actually part of a family. Part of a clan. You and Madara-sama now have an unbreakable bond. Asia, then why don't you do what I did and ask Big Brother if you can join the Uchiha clan? Asuka paused and thought about it for a minute. She was still not sure if she wanted to leave the Toriyama for the Uchiha. Asuka, maybe. I wonder how the boys are doing on their side. Male dressing room. You are the man. You got this. How hard can it be? I'm just a best man. No big deal. It's not as if I will be watched by most of the gods of the supernatural world. Nervous chuckle. Nothing to be worried about, right? Oh god, what if I trip and fall in front of everyone? Oh no, I could not handle that humiliation in front of literal gods. Oh god, I don't think I can do this. Groaning. Oh, I think I'm gonna be sick. You know, maybe not talking to yourself through a mirror would actually calm your nerves better. Red Dragon Emperor. Issei turned around to see a handsome-looking young man with blonde hair and a muscular body that could rival Hercules. Issei, and who the hell are you? Oh, forgive me. My name is Hermes. I'm a god and the child of Zeus like Hercules and the many other gods you met. Hermes said with a charming smile. Issei, oh shit, you a god like the others and you're Hercules' brother, does that mean you guys are close? Hermes, not exactly. Me and Hercules are more rivals than we are brothers, we just respect each other, but that's as far as it goes between me and him. Issei, I see. God damn it, Issei, hurry your ass up. You are the best men, for God's sake. We can't be having the best man hiding in the dressing room all day. Azazel shouted from the hallway. Hermes just got closer to Issei and began fixing up the tie and hair of the Red Dragon Emperor. Don't worry too much, okay, Red Dragon Emperor. There is a reason why Hercules chose you as his best man. Have a little more faith in yourself, you will be alright. Issei just looked at Hermes in the eyes and nodded his head. Once the god was done fixing the attire of our dragon friend, Issei looked at himself in the mirror once more, then began making his way to the door. Oh yeah, by the way, call me Issei and thanks again, Issei said before leaving the room. Once Issei left the room, Hermes went to the door and placed a seal on it so no one could enter it. He returned back to the mirror and punched it. In order for it to break into pieces, the god picked up a sharp piece of the mirror and used it to cut his right palm. As the divine blood was oozing out of Hermes' hand, he placed the bleeding hand on the floor and began transferring some of his powers to the room floor. After some time of performing this act, a large portal appeared on the floor of the room and this caused Hermes to produce an evil smile. Well done, Hermes, Rhizome said as he was the first of many to come through the portal. Right after Rhizome, a good amount of the big names of the old Satan faction began coming through the portal. Hades, god of the underworld, Cronus, king of the Titans, Pandora mistress of misfortune, Medusa queen of the Gorgons, Baal the Duke of Hell, Behemoth creature of chaos, Vlad Dracula god of the vampires, Cockabeel the star of God, Sekhmet the Egyptian goddess of war and chaos, Erebus the god of darkness, Ragnarok the end of the gods and cosmos, and Apollyon the angel of destruction, and the abyss. Excellent work, nephew. I see your hatred for your father Zeus and your brothers and sisters is still strong. Hades said with a proud smile, then placed his skeleton hand of Hermes' shoulder. Hermes, yes uncle, I too wish to see the destruction of the Olympians and the fall of Olympus. Cronus, worry not my grandson, today is the last day the Olympians live like gods. Zeus and the rest of them shall suffer. It is the responsibility of a parent to punish their children. Isn't that right, Vlad? Vlad, HMPH, I suppose so. What kind of father would I be if I did not correct Diana's recent repulsive behavior? Medusa, the fall of Olympus is now upon us. Baal, and the rise of the old Satan faction will now begin. Rise them. Remember the objective, everyone. Recruiting the Titans into the old Satan faction takes top priority. Then we destroy Olympus. Any god that gets killed in the process is just a bonus. Ragnarok. True, we need to stick to the plan. We must all remember that some of the most powerful beings will be attendants, like Amaterasu or Trimutri. I'm sure even that bastard Odin is here. Pandora, the key to the Titans is in the Council of Gods, under Zeus's throne. Apollyon, and where are the Titans? Behemoth, underground, they are under Olympus, they are used as slaves to power up this place. Cronus, my bastard child Zeus, he dares use my Titans as his playthings and slaves to power up Olympus. He shall now why they call me king of the Titans. Sekhmet, easy now Cronus, you are still in your human form, if your emotions get the better of you, then well. You know what happens. Cronus, I know, I will enter my true form, my Titan form, and if that happens the mission is jeopardized. You don't have to remind me. Cockabeel, good, so let's get going. I want to be done with this as soon as possible. Erebus, indeed, enough with the chatter. Rise them, right? Everyone knows where to go and what to do. And remember, we strike only when I give the signal. We need to make sure our entrance is dramatic. Operation Fall of Olympus officially begins. After Rhizam finished his words, his partners moved into action, going to where they need to go and killing anyone or anything that was standing in their way. Rhizam, remember to keep the portal open for our army, they should be arriving soon. After Rhizam uttered those words, he walked out the room and moved to his designated area. Not long after Rhizam left, a figure emerged from the portal. Kazami, let's fucking do this. Get into position, ladies and gentlemen. Soon thousands of demons, goblins, gargoyles, ogres, dark vampires, cyclopes and trolls came through the portal, and they all were enhanced with stray devil energy and were completely bloodlusted. Hermes whistles, they will do nicely. The Garden of Demeter. The venue for the wedding was in the most beautiful place in all Olympus, the Garden of Demeter, the goddess of nature's own personal garden. All kinds of beautiful and exotic flowers and trees were found in the garden, and they were complemented with the healthiest and most attractive-looking greenery your eyes ever seen. Demeter was the wedding planner, and she made sure to shape her garden so that all who would be in attendance would be surrounded by the greatest beauty nature had to offer. All was moving according to plan for both sides. The guests of Olympus were making their way to the wedding venue, and members of the old Satan faction were executing their plan without a hassle. The greats and the giants of religion and the supernatural world began gathering and greeting one another before the wedding ceremony would begin. It's always a beautiful thing when you get the chance to see your children marry, isn't it? Zeus turned around and was greeted by a familiar face, and this brought a smile on his face. Chuckle Odin, my old friend, I'm grateful that you could make it, Zeus said as he and Odin gave each other a brotherly hug. Odin, I forgot to tell you this last time, but you getting old, Zeus, just look at you. You starting to look like God of the Bible. Chuckle PFFFFTTT. Speak for yourself, Odin. Have you looked in the mirror recently? Zeus and Odin shifted their attention to the side, and both gods saw a face they believed they wouldn't see, especially Odin. Zeus, Freya, you made it. Freya, yes I did. Had nothing to do really. So I choose to come. So are you just gonna stand there like the idiot you always been, or are you going to greet me, Odin? It was truly a bittersweet moment for Odin to see his beautiful ex-wife right now in front of him. The father of Thor didn't know how to respond to this situation. Freya, well, Zeus, I think I will leave you two to catch up. Odin quickly shifted his attention to Zeus, giving the king of Olympus the look. Don't leave me alone with this woman. But Zeus simply smiled and went on to greet his other guests. Odin, you look nice. Freya just looked at Odin with a disappointed and bored look on her face. Wow, after all these years, that's the best you got, Odin. The greatest in all of Norse mythology can't even properly compliment his ex-wife. Sigh, you look nice as well, Odin, Freya said, then walked away, leaving a slightly embarrassed Odin to his lonesome. Well, if it isn't my old rival Poseidon. Poseidon looked to the side and saw a face he both respected but also wanted to break. Susanoo, I see you are still breathing. I should be the one asking that. If my memory is correct, in our last battle I left you near death, Poseidon, Susanoo stated with a cocky smile. Poseidon was beginning to lose his patience with the Shinto god of the sea and storms. The Greek god began increasing his aura, and Susanoo just smirked and copied Poseidon's actions. Music playing. Come now, you two, it's a wedding, a day of lovers, not a day of fighters. Poseidon and Susanoo looked to the side and saw a sight for sour eyes. Poseidon and Susanoo, Ra, the Egyptian god of the sun, got closer to his fellow deities and placed each arm on each god's shoulder. Ra, last I remember, this is a wedding, not an arena. Come, let us sit. The ceremony is about to begin. Come on already, let's get this wedding started. Everyone shifted their attention to the loud voice, and they could all see a drunk Dionysus filling his system with a full bottle of wine. Poseidon just face-palmed at his nephew's actions. Dionysus was always known to cause a scene when he was intoxicated. Susanoo, isn't that your nephew Poseidon? Poseidon, sigh, I have never met that boy in my life. Ra, we should expect this. He is after all the god of wine and festivity. It is in his nature to act like this. Poseidon, let's just get seated please, before my family gives me a headache. Many of the other gods followed suit, getting to their seats as the ceremony was only moments away from starting. Madara finally arrived to the venue with Athena, Yasaka, Tiamat and Diana, and the Uchiha had to admit, the different energies and powers he was sensing from the gods was truly impressive and intense. Athena, let's get seated shall we? The wedding is only moments away from starting. Madara and the ladies simply followed Athena to some available seats, and to Madara's fortune he found a seat that was very close to a certain Shinto goddess. Yasaka, Amaterasu, you made it. How are you doing, my friend? Amaterasu smiled when she saw her best friend. It was really refreshing for the Shinto goddess to see a familiar-looking face. Amaterasu, Yasaka, it's always a pleasure to see you, my sister. Please come sit next to me. I heard what happened in Kyoto. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you, my friend. So you're the famous Amaterasu, Madara interjected as this was the first time he got a proper look at her. Amaterasu's expression quickly went sour as she did not appreciate being interrupted. It was even worse for because it was a man who done it. And you are? Amaterasu questioned with a lot of venom in her tone. I am Madara Uchiha. Madara caught many of the gods' attention when he mentioned his name. Oh, I see. So you're him, huh? The famous human that beheaded a titan. Madara turned around as he wanted to know who was saying those words. Madara, and you are? I am Buddha, nothing more, nothing less. Madara, is that so? Odin, your hair is a lot longer than I thought it would be. Ever think of getting a haircut? Madara shifted his attention to Odin and just observed the Norse god, and Madara could sense immense power coming from him. What does his appearance matter to you, Odin? Sigh, I know that voice from anywhere. Took you long enough, you get here, Vishnu. Odin said as he and everyone nearby turned their attention to Hindu god. Amaterasu, anyway, I heard you were captured, Yasaka. How were you able to get free? It's because of him, Yasaka said with a loving smile as she pointed to Madara. You telling me he saved you? Amaterasu questioned with a bitchy look on her face. Yasaka, not only me, he is also the reason Kyoto and the Yokai get to see another day. Amaterasu, is that right? HMPH, I'm sure he did all those things just to use you, Yasaka. Madara, Huo, you assumed that was my intentions. I don't need to assume anything. I know it is. You men are all the same. You just offered a helping hand to take advantage of her in the future. Trust me, Yasaka, don't trust this human. Amaterasu said while continuing to give Madara a bitchy look. Madara and Amaterasu just locked eyes. The tension in the venue was starting to become really intense. Madara, they say your fire burns as hot as the sun. Amaterasu, that's right, I am the goddess of the sun after all. Madara, I wonder if your fire could match mine. Amaterasu, chuckle, is that a challenge, human? Don't get ahead of yourself because you killed a titan. This is a completely different league you have just stepped in. Now you're place mortal. Ares, well, this is getting interesting. Your second day here and you are already picking a fight with the strongest goddess in the supernatural world. Chuckle, this is why you are my favorite person, Madara. Madara only moved his eyes to the side and saw a familiar face smirking at him. You here as well, Elizabeth? Madara questioned as he shifted his attention back to Amaterasu. Elizabeth, of course I would be here. I'm part of the supernatural world as well. Artemis, please you two, have your fight somewhere else, but not here. Now as a favor for us all, sit down and be quiet. The ceremony is starting. Music playing. The first to walk the aisle were the bridesmaids and the groommen. Both groups made it to the altar and stood at their respective corners as they were ready and waiting for Hercules and Zaphina. Next were some servants, and they were decorating the aisle as they were throwing beautiful and colorful flowers on the aisle, giving it an extra touch of nature. Up next was the man himself, Hercules, the son of Zeus had to admit, as he was walking towards the altar. This moment right now was the most nervous and anxious he has ever been. He has fought in countless battles and has killed hundreds of enemies, but all that was nothing compared to this moment right now. Hey buddy, you will be alright, okay? Just take a deep breath, Issei said to Hercules while placing his hand on the demigod's shoulder. Hercules, thank you my friend, deep breath, I needed that. And finally it was time for the most important woman in the venue to make an appearance, and when Hercules laid eyes on his bride walking the aisle, it simply took his breath away. She was beautiful, the most beautiful thing the demigod has ever seen. Zaphina finally reached the altar and stood adjacent to Hercules. When she looked into her love's eyes, she was completely consumed with happiness and joy. A bolt of lightning struck the altar and Zeus appeared wearing some rather fancy ceremonial robes. Tsukuyomi, wait, Zeus is the officiant. Penemu, sigh, Zeus always has to have the spotlight even if it's his son's wedding. Seraphol, we shouldn't be surprised by now. Freya, true. Zeus, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow gods and goddesses, we have gathered here today to witness the union of these two lovers, my son Hercules and my soon-to-be daughter-in-law Zaphina. As Madara was watching the ceremony commence, he narrowed his eyes and instinctively brought up his guard as something was not sitting right with the ghost of the Uchiha. Madara, something is not right here. Buddha, you sense it as well, don't you, Madara? Something menacing is lurking. Odin, I thought it was just me. Ra, if all of us can sense it, that means there is definitely something wrong here. Zeus, may we have the ring bearer please? Middle now made her way down the aisle, with a pillow that was holding the rings of the two lovers, but even the young fallen angel herself could sense there was some serious tension and unease in the air. Madara and some of the gods began moving their eyes around as means to find whatever was causing them to feel uneasy, but they were not able to notice anything obvious. Madara, something is going to happen here. Amaterasu, for once I agree, something about this just isn't right. Vishnu, an ambush. Aphrodite, can't be, with the amount of gods that are here, it would be suicide to even attempt an ambush. Drunk Dionysus, you guys are worried too much, this is a wedding. A place of celebration. Just relax and have some wine. Shiva, the fool is too drunk to even notice it. Zeus, and now do you, my son Hercules, take Zaphina to be your wife. Hercules, I do, and I want to say this, Zaphina, I want you to know that you make me the happiest man in the world. Ever since I first laid eyes on you, I was in love. Everything about you is perfect. From your appearance, to the way you carry yourself, to how you fight, to how you lead the Amazons. I'm just so happy and grateful to have you as my love, and I feel extremely lucky that I am about to marry the woman of my dreams. Zaphina couldn't stop crying and smiling at Hercules' words. Being the proud and strong woman that she is, this was extremely that she was being this emotional. Zeus, and do you, Zaphina, take Hercules to be your husband? Zaphina, crying, I do. I always do. Now and forever. I promise to always love you, my dear Hercules, through sickness and health, till death do us part. I am always yours, my beloved Hercules. Gabriel, we need to stop this wedding. Athena, easier said than done. Artemis, it's getting closer. Susanoo, so much for Olympus being a secured environment. Zeus, now before we commence any further, is there anyone who objects to these two lovers becoming one? Speak no or forever hold your peace. The tension in air was so thick that one could take a knife and cut it. Pretty much all the guests seated were in objection of this wedding continuing. I object. Everyone turned their attention to where the voice was coming from, and for many of them they were shocked to see who it was that uttered those words. Zeus, rise them. How do you do, Zeus? You know I'm heartbroken, my old friend. I can't believe I wasn't sent an invite to such a beautiful event. I like weddings too, you know. Rizvam said with a fake hurt look on his face. Firstly, we are not friends, and secondly, you are not invited. Zeus said in an aggressive tone. Rizvam, ouch, what did I ever do to you, Zeus? Is that any way to speak to someone you know? What do you want, Rizvam? Zeus questioned with his patience running thin. Rizvam, chuckle, what do I want? My, it's been a long time since someone has asked me that. Well, if you must know, I want a lot of things, Zeus. I would like the old Satan faction to rule the world. I would like the revival of my father to go much faster than it is going now. What else? Oh yes, I would like you all to witness the destruction of Olympus. What did you just say? Zeus questioned with his temper now reaching breaking point. Rizvam, oh but it is not just me. Many of us want you all to witness the destruction of this place. Oh, and if you all don't mind, could you all turn your attention to the front, especially you, Zeus. There is someone who would like to greet you personally. Everyone did as Rizum suggested, and the moment they did, they all saw multiple yellow bolts of lightning struck the land that was just ahead of them. Zeus, the first bolt of lightning, summoned a stupidly enormous titan, and for many of the Olympians and gods, when they were able to recognize who that titan was, they were shocked to no end. Zeus, it can't be. Rizum, oh but it is, your father has been waiting for this day for a long time. Zeus, Cronus, you bastard child, you dare use my titans as slaves. You shall with your life for what you have done. Zeus. Soon after, hundreds and hundreds of titans appeared beside their leader Cronus, and they all were ready to wreak havoc on Zeus and the other gods. Apollo, impossible, the titans are free. Zeus, this cannot be, how could you know where I was keeping the titans? Cronus, you think that all those under you are completely loyal. Menacing laughter, you are a fool to think that. Step forward, my child and grandchildren. Ares, Hermes and Hera stood up from their seats and made their way to Rizum. Zeus couldn't believe what he was seeing. His own wife and sons were standing next to the enemy before his very own eyes. Rizum, a shame, isn't it? Why would you three betray me? Zeus questioned with a horrified and hurt look on his face. Ares, because you treated me like I was nothing. Like I was just a bastard child that shouldn't be born. In fact, of all, you treated me like dirt. The only ones that treated me well was Aphrodite, Hermes and Mother. I know the rest of you despise me. Sinister laughter, and you know what, I despise you all as well. Hermes, and with me father, you treated me more like a slave than you did as son. Is that all I was to you? Just your delivery and errand boy. You never cared for me or Ares. You always had your favorites and only used us to your advantage. Hera, and me, my dear Zeus, how did you think I felt when I saw you make love to countless other goddesses and women? I am your wife, and yet, you seem to forget that. Choosing to have sex with whatever caught your eye, well, if I can't have you, no one will. Zeus, wait a minute. Short pause. It was you three, wasn't it? You're the reason that Titan Madara killed was able to slip past me. You're the ones who set it free. Ares, slow clapping plus deranged laughter. Well done, father. You actually used your brain for once. We have long planned with Rizum and grandfather for the liberation of the Titans and the destruction of this accursed place called Olympus. Cronus, that's right. Your time at the top ends today. Zeus, I should have killed you and your mother the day you were born. You as well, Poseidon. Rizum, oh, and don't forget about the others who also wish to say hello. Rizum snapped his fingers, and the rest of his associates appeared at the venue, all of them wearing a cocky smile as they looked on at the other gods. Hades, my brother, you as well. You have also decided to stab me in the back. Zeus questioned as all these betrayals were starting to negatively affect the king of Olympus. Hades, it is time I ruled the skies. Zeus, your time at the top has now expired. We of the old Satan faction will finally reign supreme. Oh yes, and before I forget, I should remind you all why I am the god of death. Hades extended his arm forward, and in his hand he summoned his favorite bow, the bow of the underworld, and in his other hand he summoned two blazing hot fire arrows. The god of death took aim with the intentions of striking the hearts of Hercules and Zephyrina. Hades, sleep well, my nephew, and remember this will always be personal. The two arrows were launched, and before Hercules or Zephyrina could react, they were both hit with the flaming projectiles, and they could feel their hearts begin to melt. Issa, Hercules, Asuka, Zephina. Both Hercules and Zephyrina dropped to their knees, clenching their chests, as both of them could feel their lives as well as their souls begin to slip away. Hercules, coughing blood. Zephina. Zephyrina, coughing blood. Hercules. Both lovers got close to each other as embraced each other in a bittersweet hug. They could both tell they were not going to make it, therefore they at least wanted to be in each other's arms in their final moments. Coughing blood, remember, I will always love you. My queen. Hercules said with his final dying breath. Zephyrina just placed her bloody hand on Hercules' face and released some painful tears. The best day of her life has now become the worst day of her life. She brought her dead lover's face closer to hers as there were some words she wanted to say to him before she also moved on to the afterlife. Coughing blood, you know, Hercules, I never got the chance to say this when you were alive, tears falling, but I will say it while I am still alive. I love you more than anything in this world, Hercules. You are my everything, my ray of hope. You are my light. The reason I wake up in the morning, the reason I fight, the reason I want to rush back home. Tears falling, I love being in your arms, laughing at your horrible jokes, laying my head on your chest and listening to the sweet rhythm of your beating heart. Painful chuckle, guess what, Hercules? You are going to be a father. Painful chuckle, yeah, can you believe it? You a father. More tears falling, I'm sure you would teach our baby to be strong. To be brave. To be kind and to be noble just like their father. Painful chuckle, I know you will make an excellent excellent father. I know it has been your dream, tears falling, oh Hercules ... my dear Hercules ... you the best thing that has ever happened to me. I will always love you, my precious king. Zafina said, then kissed Hercules before she would join him in the afterlife. Both lovers' bodies eventually dropped to the floor, now completely lifeless. Zeus and many others just stood there motionless. The death of Hercules and Zafina was too heartbreaking to even take a moment to blink. Rizvim, don't you just love happy endings? I know I do. Now then, on to phase 2, the destruction of Olympus. Attack. Massive explosions.